Good morning, rebels.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
Sunrise on the horizon. Sky is blue, no denying. News with Skyjack Morgan. Bright and early new dawn. Every headline, every story.
Yeah!
It's your morning story.
Getting pumped.
Day greets new blue.
Getting pumped.
Good
Good morning, headlines.
Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine.
Information for you, darling.
Coffee in your cup used to fill you right up. Cleansing weather on the go.
Yeah!
Morning show you need to
Just
know.
into our newsroom.
Join us on this daily ride with your morning side by side. Catch the latest, feel the vibe. Sky will keep you
Well supplied.
Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling.
Man, gets me going in the morning. I'm gonna pour myself a cup of coffee. Testing, 1, 2, 3 on the ones and twos. Mic check. Mic check. Oh my gosh, rebel massive. That's what we used to say back in the old days. When I used to be in the clubs, we used to say massive. Boy, massive. How you doing? What's the deal and how you feeling, rebels? I hope you're having a beautiful day today. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and this is the number one news reaction show on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. It's the Morning Sky. You know, I had a crazy weekend. It was fun. I saw that movie Hail Mary. I liked that one. Did you like it? I'm sure you all saw it. It was great. I thought it was fantastic. It was kind of like The Martian, except everyone in the movie wasn't an asshole. That was basically, it's like it's the same writer as the guy who did The Martian. I don't know if it's the same director or anything like that, but there's some people there. Yes, thank you. I had a good time. I thought it was great. And, of course, we got lots of news this weekend. That was fun. I didn't get to go to the shooting range this weekend. I was a little bummed about that. But I hope you all had a great weekend. What'd you guys do this weekend? Did you have a good time? Did you go see a movie? I went to go see a movie. I've been reading this book, too. I've been asked to do a reading list, but I'm thinking we're going to do like a Skyjack Morning Morgan book club. Skyjack Morgan Morning Book Club, and we're just gonna, I figure we'll do a horror novel, a fiction novel, and a non-fiction. That's what I'm thinking. 3 books a month. Can you read 3 books a month? Do you have it in you? Delete Instagram from your phone. I bet you can read 3 books a month, but maybe you don't wanna. That's a thing. You worked on a website. Nice to hear. I worked on a website too. I got the morningsky.live. Also, for the afternoon show, the call-in dialectic show. The call-in dialectic show, it has a new landing page. So if you're on mobile, you can access the stream. You can actually come on stream. It's at morningsky.live/PYB. Pick your battles, PYB. I'm pretty stoked about it. You saw my site? Thank you. I worked hard on it. You know, it's still a little janky, but it's, you know, for the amount of work I put, I still got a little work to do on it. Don't judge me too harshly. I know that you're a professional and everything, but I don't know. But you did see it. That's nice to hear. So skyjackmorning.live is up, and I'm ready to rock. I don't know if you heard, but they have the Strait of Hormuz is mined. They say they have something like 50,000 mines or something. They have so many mines. Some are on the surface, some are downstairs, some are in the middle of the ocean. And Donald Trump promised no boots on the ground, but we're taking the island of Karg, which sounds like something from Star Trek. It sounds like a Klingon. I think the Klingon dogs are called Targs. So when they said the island of Karg, I got to be honest with you. I knew about the Strait of Hormuz. I knew about that. I didn't know the island of Karg. I never heard about the island of Karg before, but apparently it's where all of the oil kind of refinery and tanking and where they load and unload tankers and stuff. And so there's military bases on the island of Karg to protect that oil infrastructure. And supposedly we can just bomb the military targets without hurting the oil because we wouldn't want to harm the oil. But we can't check twice. Nobody checks Google Earth before we bomb a school full of little girls. That is still, Donald Trump still says it's somebody else's fault. J.D. Vance is MIA because he doesn't want you to know that he's against the war. J.D. Vance, no new wars. It's weird. I listened to this thing that because Joe Biden didn't want to run for president after Obama, and because Dick Cheney didn't want to run for president after George W. Bush, this is the first time we've had a vice president who wants to be president in 20 years. And I thought, that's weird. And so it's like this thing where we're not used to seeing a vice president behave in the way that J.D. Vance is behaving. Yes, it's the major oil distribution center. Yeah, I didn't know about Karg. I'm learning about Karg. I learned about Karg see, that's what's so great about America. Then I didn't know about the island of Karg, and now I do because we're bombing them. America. We learn about countries when we bomb them. Air Canada crashed at LaGuardia. It's true. And also they're putting TSA agents in airports. Of course, I'm terrified because I think that the authoritarians always like to control the populations and how much they can travel. They're very into that. They always do that. But also, Karina will be traveling in April, and I'm terrified, man, because like she's a citizen, but her mom isn't, and she's got a green card, but she's like, everything's okay. But man, I don't trust these guys at the airport. Do you trust TSA to do their job at the airport? Do you trust them? Isn't airport enough? Isn't airport bad enough? I've already seen people getting beaten up in the airports. Is that what we want to see? More people getting beaten up at airports? Does this remind you of anything? Reminds me of Sophie's Choice. Like she got to decide between the two daughters. Have you ever seen the movie Sophie's Choice? Does anybody know about Sophie's Choice? Anyway, today is Monday morning. It is March 23rd. It's a beautiful day. I think it's the second day of spring, and I know you're stoked about that. Are you happy? I'm happy too. All right, we're going to have a show now where we talk about the news. The number one news reaction show on YouTube. If you aren't already a channel member, Sky City Rebels get exclusive content, exclusive polls, exclusive posts, exclusive streams like the Afterglow. It happens after this show every day, and we do an After Dark episode every once in a while, a monthly stream for guitar recital. I play guitar. This month I'm doing the songs of Paul McCartney. And on Sundays after the show after the Ethical Underground, we do the Ethical Overground. But that's for purple and black belt members only. Got to do something special for them, you know. Got to do something special for the black belt members. I'm hoping that in the future, once we get enough black belt members, that's the highest tier, that we can do a Zoom call every week, our month. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think it'd be fun to do a Zoom call like with the Brain Trust. So let me know what you think. I wouldn't let her fly, Jack. Dude, Nurse Rod, I'm telling you, I'm telling people not to fly. They don't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. Her grandfather's sick in Mexico, so they want to fly to Mexico. Nobody listens to me. You think they listen to me? I'm chopped liver over here. Nobody listens to me. That's like the curse of my life. My name is Cassandra. Are you familiar with the myth of Cassandra, where she can see the future? She could tell everybody that the volcano's about to go. She could see the future of every impending disaster. But nobody believes her. See, you could see the future, but nobody believes you. Nobody ever believes me. People didn't believe me about this Trump thing. People didn't believe me about the breaking down the TSA. People didn't believe me about ICE in the airports. I called all of this shit. People didn't believe me about the war in Iran. I was a week off. I was exactly 7 days off on the war in Iran. People didn't believe me. I talked about it for months. I've been talking about how they were going to go after Cuba. Guess what? We're going after Cuba. Man, nobody listens to me. This is my lot in life. I get to do a news reaction show. I tell you the future. I interpret the present. I tell you the future. Nobody listens. If people listened to me, we wouldn't have Super Bowls anymore. Walmart would not be in business, and Amazon wouldn't have a monopoly on everything. Yeah, Amazon would be just a bookstore at this point. But no, none of you assholes listens to me. So here we go. I can't beat him. You got to join. I get no respect at all. I used to, we used to play hide and seek when I was a kid. Nobody listened to me. Nobody. We used to play hide and go seek, and nobody ever looked for me. We had a dog. We had a family dog. They used to tie a chopped liver around my neck so the dog would play with me. They get no respect. I get no respect at all. Thank you, Nurse Rod. You remind me of... I never had a very good Rodney Dangerfield impersonation, but I like Rodney Dangerfield very much. Thank you all for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. This is the Morning Sky Show, the #1 news reaction show on YouTube.
President Donald Trump sending a message via Truth Social seconds ago, saying effectively, based on good and productive conversations with Iran, he has instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure.
Well, you know he is taking the shit really seriously because he is writing in all caps. You know Donald Trump is serious when he writes in all caps, ladies and gentlemen. You know that shit, right? When Donald Trump writes in all caps, that is dementia patient old man language for "Thank you for your attention to this matter!" Exclamation point, Donald Trump. I am pleased to announce, I am pleased to report that this United States of America, we love the United States, we love the United States, don't you folks? We love it. We love the United States. And the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good, a productive conversation regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Bullshit. I call bullshit. There has not been any... You think the Iranians are going to fall for it again? You said we were negotiating with these lunatics. That's what he said before. And then we stabbed them in the back. We stabbed them right in the back. That's how we do it. We stab them in the back. We say, hey, would you like to talk? And then we stab you in the back. That's the American way. That's the American way. That's how we do it. Do you think that the Iranians are going to fall for it again? The lunatic Iranians? It's so funny when people if someone's walking around calling people lunatics and then covering their face with orange makeup and slouching around with their long tie. What size shoe do you wear? What size shoe do you wear? And buying people's shoes and doing all of these weird things. And they're lunatics. They don't know what size shoe you are. They don't care about shoes. They don't have respect for shoes. They don't have respect. I could turn down the gain a little bit if my mic is still hot, but is that It's also probably because I'm yelling.
For a 5-day period. The president saying this is subject to the success of ongoing meetings and discussions. For more on the rapidly unfolding situation.
How many billions will Trump make off this war? Man, I don't know. Do you think people are going to invest in crypto's down? Maybe, but he makes money no matter which way it is. If he if you sell all your crypto right now, he makes money if you do it through his exchange. If you buy crypto right now, he makes money. He makes money on either way. He's the rake. So yeah, I don't know. He's making money off of drones. I don't know how many billions will Donald Trump make off this war. All I know is that the American people spent $1 trillion for the Department of Defense the Department of War. And this asshole Donald Trump can't even spell the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, I didn't know that the island of Karg I didn't know about the island of Karg, but I do know how to spell Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump doesn't know how to spell Strait of Hormuz. He keeps on spelling it Straight. It's Strait, like straight is the gate. It's like a bit. They use it a lot in the Bible. Straight means like narrow. Straight, a narrow. It could be an adjective or a noun. Straight, Strait, is the opposite of abroad. Donald Trump only knows about I know about broads. I love broads. Trust me, I do. I love them. But I gotta talk about Arnold Palmer's schlong again. Karg. Karg is an old pirate island in the Strait of Hormuz. I'm sure he made a lot of them with the market manipulation he just pulled. Maybe you're right, 5.5 billion. The thing is, they have 200. Okay, so he wants 200 billion more, and then he wants to tell me the war's over. Then what's the 200 billion dollars for? Wait a second, we gave you $1 trillion. $1 trillion. We gave you $1 trillion, and you told me you need 200 billion more for a war that's already over. I thought you won. I thought you won it. I'm starting to think Trump got his ideas from watching Hunger Games. Thank you for your attention. Yes, he did. Hunger Games shit. No, Hunger Games got their ideas from dystopian literature. This is just what dystopia looks like, man. There is the ICE agents going to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport amidst the Department of Homeland Security shutdown. Look at them. There they are. Where's your mask, buddy? Come on, let's mask up. Mask up. Here's ICE with a bunch of guns. Hey, you get in line. How come you're not in line? What are you doing? Get over here. They say that they're going to be watching. They're going to make sure that the exits are entrances and the entrances are exits. Great job, ICE. The ICE is now there. Aren't you happy about it? I'm sure you're happy about it. It's great times. Great times for everybody. ICE is now in Atlanta Airport. They've arrived. I'm sure you're happy. It feels safe. Do you feel safe? Do you feel safer that ICE is there, checking people's passports, making sure that you're a citizen, beating people up? There's already been a couple videos of ICE beating people up in the airport. That's been fun to watch. Don't enter through the exit door, because you could be murdered for that now. That's a capital offense now. If you enter through the exit door at an airport, yeah, you're putting your life into ICE's hands. They will murder you now. That's don't worry, if they'll call you a domestic terrorist if you do it. ICE at the airport, what could go wrong? Man, this is happening. This is happening. You bought more Bitcoin yesterday. I'm jealous. My Ethereum is in the toilet. Good morning, America. Good day to the rest of the world. Indeed, the rest of the world. Well, I mean, it's morning for me. I think it's 10 a.m. in New York City. Anybody in New York? Anybody on East Coast time right now? I didn't even know that. It's okay to be dyslexic. I love dyslexic. ICE at airports is almost like it was planned. Yeah, it's almost like it's in the Project 2025 that they're going to break up the TSA and put ICE in charge. It's almost like that's in Project 2025.
So I've just arrived on the scene here in North London, where 4 ambulances belonging to a volunteer Jewish rescue service were set on fire in the early hours of this morning. You can see there's a police cordon still in place, and there's a fire engine just down the road. Police say they are now treating this as an anti-Semitic hate crime, and obviously that has put this community, where there is a high concentration of Jewish schools and synagogues, a large Jewish population here in this suburb of North London, it has put them really into shock. Residents saying they cannot believe what they saw and heard. Several told me they were woken by loud bangs in the early hours of the morning. The fire service saying this could have been gas canisters on those ambulances. So look, the investigation is still ongoing. No arrests have been made. We have seen CCTV footage showing several masked men approaching one of the ambulances. But just 6 months or so after that Yom Kippur attack on the synagogue in Manchester, this is yet another incident that has put the UK's Jewish community on high alert.
See, America, we're not alone. There's weird stuff happening all over the world. You think America is the only place where we've got Nazis? Man, we got them in all over the place. It's a popular movement all over the world right now. It's very popular in England. They've always been kind of popular in England. Europe has always had a big fascist feeling. America, we have fascism, but we like to keep it down with the Constitution. But now that we don't respect the Constitution, there's really nothing holding the Nazis back. So now we got fascists and presidency. But Keir Starmer, everyone loves that guy, right? He's everyone's favorite prime minister. Nothing is going wrong there, and everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. People say I'm too negative, that there's anti-Semitic attacks in London. But, it's totally normal. It's 4:20 in Greece. Smoke 'em if you got 'em down there in Greece. Smoke 'em if you got 'em down there. Thank you. Hitler, though, UK would join him. Hitler thought UK would join him. Hitler did think that. That's right. When he got into war with England, he said, we're fighting the wrong war. Hitler said that. Hitler was very upset that he got into war. He didn't think England would do that because of capitalism. And he hated communism. So he wanted to go against the Russians and the Jews of Eastern Europe. But England had a different idea. Well, here we are. What's going to happen this time? Do you think that England is going to go with America? Keir Starmer looks like he just wants to be friends with the United States. Now that America is the aggressor and we're bombing countries all over the world, assassinating leaders, kidnapping presidents, do you think that England is going to be on the side of the United States? Italy has said no. France has said no. NATO in general is saying no, 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 no. Donald Trump compares what we're doing in Iran or to Iran to what Japan did to the United States in 1941, December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy. And yet, Pearl Harbor is generally looked as in America at least, it's looked at as kind of like a downright dirty trick. They bombed us on a Sunday. They didn't tell us they were going to bomb us. How come they didn't sign a thing saying this is war? They're supposed to sign a thing that says, hey, we're about to bomb you and give us a chance to prepare. They didn't do that. And so Donald Trump is saying that's a great idea. That's why we did that to Iran. Japan asked, how come you didn't tell your friends? At least Japan probably told their friends. I wonder, did Japan tell their allies? Supposedly they did. Supposedly America actually knew it was coming and let it happen because blah, blah, blah. We want to get into the war, blah, blah, blah. But what do you think? Are we like the Japanese in 1941, a bloodthirsty empire obsessed with conquest and domination? They want to take, people forget that Japan owned Asia because they had expanded so far. They had expanded their empire far more than Germany had. Just nobody cared because it was the East. Pacific Ocean will save us. Pacific Ocean did not save us. Are we like the Japanese in 1941, bombing, surprise attacks everywhere, lightning flash, or, they called it like a lightning flash attack over in Venezuela. That's what the Germans called their thing, the Blitzkrieg, the lightning war. Are we like them? Are we like the flashbang, smash and grab, we're going to kidnap your president? Is that our thing? Apparently it is. We're the ones that drop nuclear weapons. We're the ones that do sneak attacks. We're the ones that do coups. We're the ones that do, fix elections in other people's countries. And here, I guess, we do all these things. But the Iranians are the lunatics. And the people who don't back us, they're the crazy ones. Seems weird to me. Thank you so much for the coffee. I'll take a cup of coffee. Thank you so much. I'm drinking Death Wish coffee out of my Yeti mug. I'm trying to get Yeti to give me a new look at my old ass French press. It's all broken and shit. Like it's not sealed anymore. My coffee goes cold. I need a Yeti French press. Call your friends at Yeti. Tell them to give me a French press because it's expensive and I need one. I guess the Brits won't let that happen. Can we send all the new asylum seekers from Iran and Lebanon to the United States, by the way? You know, we don't even talk about Lebanon. They don't have anything to do with this war. It's so funny. I thought we were just bombing Iran because they were lunatics. What's Lebanon got to do with it? Oh, it's Hezbollah. Oh, okay, yeah. Hezbollah. Yeah. Or is it the Houthis? Who could keep track anymore? It's so depressing.
And a vote could come today from the Senate to confirm Senator Wayne Mullen as President Trump's next Homeland Security Secretary. Senators advanced Mullen's nomination in a rare weekend session. The Oklahoma Republican has tried to make the case that he would be a steady hand after Kristi Noem. Well, that's Trump's first DHS secretary.
Yeah, there you go.
TSA pre-check line.
Do you think your boy Wayne Mullen, he's going to be a good choice? Mr. Wayne Mullen, he's going to be in charge of ICE, Department of Homeland Security. He was also in charge of the TSA and FEMA. This guy, Wayne Mullen, who thinks that you wants to put it up your butt. You get your butt up. I'm going to get my butt up. Better put it up your butt. He thinks that dueling is still legal. It's been illegal, as Rand Paul put it, 170-something years. The guy thinks that it's still legal to cane each other. He thinks violence is an entirely acceptable way to comport oneself in the Senate. This guy, no education, and now he's head of the TSA, the DHS. DHS is the guys that are in charge of the TSA. They're in charge of CBP. They're in charge of ICE. They're in charge of FEMA. They're in charge of a bunch of shit. DHS. You're going to love it. It's good times. Thanks, George W. Bush. Thanks, Osama bin Laden. Gave us DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Man, Wayne Mullen, he's on the case, everybody. Kristi Noem's out, and he's in. What could go wrong? Let Wayne get in a duel. Maybe he'll lose. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe. This guy also has a bunch of stolen valor situations. He's like, I've smelled war. It's like, bro, you've never been in combat. He's never even worn a uniform for the United States. Maybe he wore the uniform for some other country, but not this one. And for some reason, Wayne Mullen is a man of stolen valor.
We've dealt with this before. This line stretches all the way down here, but here's a new wrinkle. Step outside with me real quick. You kind of have to see this one to believe it.
Oh, here we go.
This is actually still the TSA pre-check line. This line now wraps outside. So if you think about it, it wraps around the inside 4 different times, then comes outside and wraps around 2 other times to get all these passengers through. No one has an expectation for how long they're going to be standing in a line. And I want to stress, this is the pre-check line. On the other side, on the north side, that line's even longer. It is outside the building. Everyone's trying to figure out exactly what to do. And on top of that, if you have a check bag, it can take an hour to check in your check bag. So this now wraps, back around and through the building again before you even start the normal line to get back this way. So to say
this is worse than Disneyland. Remember when I told you that authoritarians control travel? That's exactly what's happening here. You don't want to travel. You can't travel. They make it impossible to travel. Every authoritarian dictatorship does this. They limit the amount of travel you can do because it's a way to exert control. Travel is a form of autonomy. They want to mitigate your autonomy. They want to minimalize that. They don't want to have you thinking you can go where you want to go when you want to go there. They want you to be asking the state for that. They also want to limit brain drain. They also want to limit your ability to tell other people what's going on in this country. They want to limit your ability to go anywhere and get ideas about what's better in other places. They don't want you doing any of that shit. They want to control information and your ability to move. Every authoritarian group has always done this. It always looks like this. I told you this was going to happen. It's written in Project 2025. They told you it was going to happen. And now everyone's like, I can't believe this is happening. People said I was fear-mongering on this show. So many people said I was fear-mongering on this show when I told you this was going to happen. Drive? What do you mean drive? Where are you going to drive to? You don't think that's going to happen too? Man, you can't even drive a lot of places in this country anymore. What do you think is going to happen when they start putting checkpoints back into the interstate highways? We already have the infrastructure, man. It's just like a matter of time. Jesus. They used to do this with minorities, and they're going to do it with minorities again first, where you're not going to let certain people travel across state lines. That's going to be next. Certain people will not be allowed to travel without visas inside the United States. Wait for it. Wait for it. Only 50% of Americans have passports. Most people won't be able to renew their passports because right now they're about to crash the passport offices. Once they have the ability, once they pass this stupid SAVE Act and everyone who wants to vote is going to have to run out and try to get a passport real fast, you're screwed. Luckily, I think my passport's got like 5 years on it. I think I've got 5 years to get out. I got to check what the expiration date is. But hey, they could change that too. They could change anything. Oh, my passport's good for another 5 years. Not anymore, pom. That's it. Not anymore. We decided you got to put your eye color on there now. Your eye color's not on there. Passports are a way of controlling you. You can't go anywhere without Daddy Trump's permission. You can't leave without asking him first. Yours is expired. Oh, it's expired now. You support Christian nationalism? Christian nationalism isn't Christian, you bigots. You bigots are anti-Christian. There's nothing Christian about Christian nationalism. Nothing. Nothing at all. This country blows? Yeah, but it's so much fun, isn't it? Watching it melt down. You got front row tickets. Front row tickets for the apocalypse. Watch it. You'll love it. You'll love it. The pictures are going to be great. You're going to love it. When they black bag me. Look at this. Look at the lines at the... Does this look familiar? Does this look like 1940 Germany with all the trains? Everyone's trying to get out. Everyone's trying to move and they can't. If you wanted to leave this country right now, you can't. Every time someone tells you, oh, well, I'd love to leave, or if you don't love it, leave it. You can't. No one will have you. And they won't let you leave. They did the same bullshit when they put up the Berlin Wall. The Soviets said, oh, look at these people. Look at all the people trying to escape Western Germany because of how evil capitalism is. Look what's happening. It's evil. People are fleeing. They're fleeing. They're coming to Eastern Germany because of how bad they have it over there. That's what they said on their side. And on our side, we said the same thing. Oh, those people in Eastern Germany, they got us so bad. They're coming over here. They want to come on our side. They're selling their mothers just to get across the border, right across that wall. They're sneaking across the wall. They're digging tunnels to get around the wall. We both told the same lies. And the people, all they wanted to do was have a job, get laid, have some kids. That's all the people want to do. They're too busy trying to live their lives to decide between good and evil. They don't know what's good and evil. They just want to get along with their lives. It's the same shit. They put up a wall. You can't move anymore. There's a wall right now through the town of Bethlehem. Oh, little town of Bethlehem. There's a little town of Bethlehem, and it's got a wall through it. You know why? Because the Israelis think that Palestinians shouldn't be allowed into their country. So they put up a wall. And it goes right through the manger. Right through the manger. Look it up. Right through Jesus' manger. Jesus.
7 weeks now since Nancy Guthrie disappeared, Savannah and her family pleading for renewed attention to their mom's case, saying in a new statement to their Tucson neighbors,
Bartholomew, you can't protest? What do you mean? If you protest, you're a terrorist in this country. What, that's your litmus test? Well, where do you think we stand on that? You can't protest if you're a black man. You can't protest if you're an American Indian. Well, they'll fucking kill you if you're an American Indian. You protest. No way, no how. You can't protest for your water rights or your rights, your sovereign land rights, not to have an oil pipeline going through your land. You can't protest that. They'll kill you. White people, they can protest, but they'll also kill you. They'll kill you. You protest too much, they'll kill you dead, man, right there in the face. Ask Renee Good. Ask Alex Preddy. They'll kill you. J-pot lover. You love your people and your people who are beneficial to a free society. Aren't you a Christian nationalist? Get the hell out of here. You don't love anything. There's protests every week, and people are getting shot at, and people are getting beaten. There's protests. The fact that they exist doesn't mean that it's okay. The state is against them. The state labels them as terrorists. The state has said that anyone who claims to be against fascism is a terrorist. What do you mean? They just put someone in jail for disseminating little zines about anti-fascism. That's a form of protest. They put them in jail. He's in jail. He's going to serve 20 years for having zines. Not distributing zines, just having them, transporting zines, anti-fascist literature. Well, they still have them. They still have them. Only the idiots attacking ICE. Renee Good did not attack ICE. Miramar did not attack ICE. She got shot 5 times, and they charged her with nothing. Alex Preddy did not attack ICE. He got shot. So no. 25 shootings. No siree. Well, they're just attacking them. That's who does it. No. Watch the video. How come there's all this video of people getting attacked by ICE just standing on a street corner and getting bear sprayed? Just standing stationary. What about that ex-Marine who was literally standing there and ICE came around and tackled him to the ground and beat the shit out of him? He was standing there. He's suing. But you say it's okay to protest? Funny. That's funny. I love that. I love that for you. I'm sure that they said the same thing in the civil rights movement when they stick the dogs on them. When they sick the dogs on the people fighting for their civil rights in the 1960s, I'm sure there were people like you being like, I love that I live in a country where you could protest. What's with these dogs? What's with those men with horses with long batons? What's with the tear gas? It's against the law to use tear gases in war, but it's okay to use them on your citizens. I sure glad I live in a country where it's okay to protest. Yeah, love it. Man, I've been to lots of protests. I've been arrested for protesting. And they drop it. They arrested me and then they dropped the case. So am I allowed to protest? No. You're not allowed to protest. The cops beat the shit out of people. The cops put their hands on you. You're not allowed to protest in this country. You have the illusion. That's an illusion you have.
Someone knows something. It's possible a member of this community has information that they do not even realize is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as...
Ooh, protests and riots are 2 different things. Oh, really? What's the difference? I'd love to know. You know what the difference is? The people in power decide what they call a riot and a protest. That's a difference. You could write letters. That's a proper protest. But if you stand there and say anything above a certain volume, no siree, that's a riot. If you make too much noise, that's a riot. They call everything a riot. Grow up, Bartholomew. Grow up. Grow up.
The late evening of January 11th. No detail is too small. It may be the key. Up until now, authorities have not said why investigators have been looking for footage from January 11th, but new this morning, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos tells NBC News it's because Google initially told investigators that this surveillance image they retrieved from Nancy's Nest camera of a man at her front door was believed to be from that date. But Nanos says Google later took that back, telling them they could not definitively peg the photo to that day. Neither the FBI nor Google have commented on this timeline. Over the weekend, our NBC affiliate, KVOA News 4 Tucson, aired a moving special about the case, including new details on the impact Nancy's had in their community.
Nancy Guthrie. I think Nancy Guthrie is an important story to remember. It used to be the reason why we tolerated the FBI and all of the horrible shit they do is because from time to time they would catch a kidnapper. Like if a little old lady got kidnapped, especially if she's white, that somebody would go and find the kidnapper and bring him to justice and bring old Nancy Guthrie home. But Kash Patel can't even do that. Kash Patel can't even find... Man, Charlie Kirk's murderer would be at large right now if he hadn't turned himself in. The FBI is asleep at the wheel. Kash Patel's having heated rivalry cosplay in the locker rooms of the U.S. men's national team of hockey and having a grand old time getting his custom sneakers made and his stupid challenge coins with the Punisher head. This stupid simp. My God, this poser. My God. My God. And yet, he's not doing his job. What has the FBI done for us lately? The FBI has gone full on evil. I mean, kidnapping. If you're going to kidnap somebody, do it now because nobody's looking. The FBI is asleep at the wheel. They think that Antifa is the biggest threat to America. So go for it. Keep doing that. Way to go. All right. Don't fight fascism until your country is in full-blown fascism. Makes total sense. You're a bootleg moron. Thank you so much for the amazing contribution, Parallelist. Thank you for supporting this channel in independent media. Thank you so much for feeling good about doing that. We don't fight fascism in this country. And it's so funny. People want fascism to announce itself like, hello, we're fascists. Knock, knock, knock. We're here. But that's not how it works. Fascism just sneaks up on you, and then one day they say it's against the law to be against fascism, which is what they've done. Donald Trump and his fascist fucks have come around, and they've made anti-fascism illegal and tried to convince you that anti-fascism is actually the new fascism. Trust us. Trust us. You know we're telling you the truth. We always tell the truth. It's your friends over at the government. It's your friends over at the FBI. Hey! It's your friends at the FBI. Trust us. We never do nothing wrong. Trust us. Fascism is now anti-fascism, and anti-fascism is now fascism. What? I don't know. I can't keep it track myself. I can't keep track of it. Give the chance a kid. Yesterday, it's $5.69 diesel in Reedport, man. For the lowest tier of gasoline in California, it's $5.99 right now. It's $6. $5.99 and 9/10. Ain't that sweet? Anyway,
University of Arizona professor.
They're trying to get you to remember Nancy Guthrie. Do you have time for that? No, we don't have time for that. What are you talking about? Time for Nancy Guthrie? We don't have time for that.
Robert Mueller, who led the investigation into the alleged collusion between Donald.
Speaking of the FBI, the former FBI director, he was 81 years old. Oh, shit, Donald Trump's only got one more year left, maybe. He's almost 80. Donald Trump will be 80 in a couple months, and Robert Mueller died in 81. Robert Mueller went to Vietnam when Donald Trump had bone spurs. Donald Trump had bone spurs and was bowling. I saw this picture of Donald Trump with his bowling trophy at the same age as Robert Mueller, taken the same year. Robert Mueller had a machine gun, and he was in Vietnam. Robert Mueller got a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. Donald Trump has never done anything for anybody. He was a draft dodger during Vietnam. Robert Mueller worked in the FBI for 10 years. I hate the FBI. But it's ridiculous because Donald Trump said, it's a good thing Robert Mueller's dead. Good that he's dead. That's what he says. How many people at this point, how many Purple Heart recipients has Donald Trump taken a shit on? I mean, John McCain. How many people with a Purple Heart? John Kerry. I mean, there's just three off the top of my head that Donald Trump has taken a shit on. People with Purple Hearts from our wars. And yet Donald Trump is like, well, shit happens. People die in war. They're going to die. They're going to die, unfortunately. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys. People die in war. Nobody knows that like Robert Mueller, who survived the war. Probably had lots of friends who died. Now he's dead.
Trump's 2016 presidential campaign associates and the Russian government, has died. He was 81 years old. Mueller was selected as FBI director by President George W. Bush just days before 9/11. He served in the role for 12 years, turning it over to James Comey in 2013. In 2017, the Justice Department appointed Mueller as special counsel, tasking him with overseeing the Trump-Russia investigation. Producing mixed results, Mueller's investigation ended in 2019. While it did not establish that the Trump campaign conspired with Russia, investigators uncovered high-level contacts between the campaign and the Russian government.
Oh, they didn't conspire, but the campaign was talking to really high-level associates of Putin. The campaign was colluding with Russia. No, they weren't colluding. They were just having, conversations. Why were high-ranking officials of the campaign having conversations with high-ranking officials of Russia? You might ask. Mueller asked the same question. Why? He just couldn't answer it. And therefore, they said, oh, well, I guess we're not going to do anything about this. And Donald Trump says it was all a hoax. It was not a hoax. They were colluding. It's just that Robert Mueller said there wasn't enough evidence through his little investigation. Maybe somebody else needs to investigate this. Maybe y'all should do your job, Congress, and impeach this motherfucker. And Congress said, well, we did impeach him twice. What are we going to do? Impeach him twice, doesn't matter. Trump got a bowling participation trophy. Yeah, he's really into the participation trophy. Donald Trump has never had to do anything for himself his entire life. He never had to learn how to drive a car. He never had to learn how to do anything in life except, take advantage of other people, hurt other people. That was his whole thing. He was nice to the one vet that gave his Purple Heart to Trump. Oh yeah, Trump is a 6-foot-tall pile of shit, poorly tailored suit. Oh, that guy who gave his Purple Heart to Trump. Yeah, that was cute. I like that one. We don't need politicians. They don't work for us. Important. That's very right. That's very true. Politicians, we don't really need them. You're right. We don't need them. What should we do with them, you think? What should we do with all these politicians we got if we don't need them?
Trump had denied there were any contacts between the two.
But let him write his report. We did nothing. There's no collusion.
The investigation became a frequent target of Trump.
Why did Paul Manafort go to jail again? Hold on, let me just look this up really quickly. Why did Paul Manafort go to jail? Paul Manafort, 2016 Trump campaign chairman, was convicted of 2018 of multiple felonies related to financial fraud and, in a separate case, pleaded guilty conspiracy charges. His convictions included tax fraud, bank fraud, failure to disclose foreign bank accounts, Russia, stemming from lobbying work in Ukraine, and not campaign collusion. Not campaign collusion. It wasn't collusion. Okay? It was just conspiracy, fraud, tax fraud, bank fraud, failure to disclose bank accounts, Jesus, financial fraud, multiple felonies. But it wasn't collusion, okay, guys? Look, it was all a hoax. It wasn't collusion. It was just bank fraud, wire fraud, financial fraud, disclosure failure, and conspiracy. Not collusion.
Who repeatedly called it a witch hunt. Mueller's family said in a statement, quote, "With deep sadness, we are sharing the news that Bob passed away last night."
Here we go. The Democrats handed Trump the White House on a silver platter. Well, I mean, that's true, but not really to Donald Trump. I mean, they made Trump inevitable. The Democrats paved the way because Barack Obama was such a disappointment. Basically, they just made Trump inevitable after George W. Bush. George W. Bush did his part, but the Democrats had 8 years that they could have erased all the shit that George W. Bush did, and they didn't. They kept it going. Barack Obama increased the number of concentration camps in America. Barack Obama increased the amount of times, the amount of espionage we can do on our own citizens within our borders. So, yeah, sort of. If he was impeached, do you think we are subject to foreign attacks? We're subject to foreign attacks right now. What do you mean, M. Gonza? We're subject to foreign attacks right now. We're bombing countries all over the world. We're kidnapping leaders. If someone kidnapped Donald Trump right now, let's say like some helicopter, by some miracle, they were able to do it. Someone was able to pull it off. And they kidnapped Donald Trump, or maybe on one of his trips where he's more vulnerable. He's more vulnerable. He loves going overseas because people are giving him crowns and giving him jewels and shit. He loves that shit. So let's say he's over in Timbuktu and the military kidnaps him. Somebody kidnaps him. Would you be okay with that? Because that's what we're doing. And they say, yeah, well, he's a war criminal. So now we got him. Is that okay? It seems like we're okay with that. We are always subject to foreign attacks. Always, indeed. We are always subject to that, indeed. Ben blocks you, I mock you. Ben, don't block everybody, Ben. Is that why we only have 40 people watching, Ben? That chip guy. Yes. Yes, you'd be okay with it, right? You'd be okay with it? Yes. We can live with that as long as they keep him. It's funny, do you think there'd be people cheering in the street if Donald Trump was kidnapped? And if he was kidnapped and there were people cheering in the street, would it make it right? What if somebody kidnapped him and guillotined him? Would that make it okay? Is that okay because some people are cheering? Because that's what we say about Maduro, right? Well, there's some people are cheering in Venezuela, so it's a win. I watched Bill Maher this Friday say that it's a win. Oh, it looks like a win. Well, a win? What do you mean it's a win? Because we got away with it? That's a win? How is it a win what we did in Venezuela? Well, we got away with it. No one killed us. Oh, okay. It's a win. There would be people cheering. Of course there'd be people cheering. Of course that chip guy. Of course. Don't even shit.
Overnight, deadly collision at LaGuardia Airport. An Air Canada Express flight colliding with a fire truck on the runway, leaving the pilot and co-pilot dead.
Stop truck one. Stop. Stop truck one. Stop.
Air Canada Flight 8646 from Montreal with 72 passengers and 4 crew members on board landed at LaGuardia at around 11:40 p.m. Sometime shortly after touching down, the plane appeared to be going about 30 miles per hour and it collided nose first with a fire truck.
Vehicle, I have a vehicle, hold position. I know you can't move. Vehicle service line 2 now.
Images show the plane's nose destroyed, the entire plane tilted up into the air, shreds of the plane hanging to the runway below.
It's so crazy to me that it like a 30 mile per hour, it's a truck, a 30 mile per hour plane, and the plane is just destroyed. It just goes to show, like, you think you're safe up there. 30 miles per hour, this thing goes 700 miles per hour. How the hell is it so easily just destroyed at a 30 mile per hour impact? But I guess, you know, and both pilots are dead. Both pilots are dead. LaGuardia, where did it happen? It happened in LaGuardia, New York. And it wasn't like there was nothing wrong. Like there was no malfunction. There was a stop the truck. Air traffic control saw it. Nothing happened. Didn't work. Yeah. Airplane isn't made for sudden stops against things. I know. But 30 miles per hour seems like a slow speed for both of them to be dead. It just seems like, it's just surprising, okay? I don't know. It seems like 30 miles per hour ain't that fast. Because, you know, I'm sure that the drivers of the truck are alive.
Mangled fire truck on its side in the grass, surrounded by debris. Our New York station WABC speaking with 2 of the passengers.
All of a sudden, boom, woke up in shock, just didn't know what to do. People were just in shock, like people were like caving in, just heard a loud bang, and then everyone's like freaking out, not knowing what to do.
LaGuardia, one of the nation's busiest airports, closing down immediately. Dozens of emergency vehicles racing to the scene. The FAA issuing a ground stop for all planes headed there. Over a dozen redirected to surrounding airports.
LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time. No aircraft in or out.
Air traffic controllers scrambling to divert other planes. Alarms can be heard going off in the background.
Delta 2603, go around. Runway heading 2000.
Moments before the incident, you could actually hear the truck asking controllers for permission to cross a runway. A controller apparently giving permission.
Oh! Company Guardia Tower requesting to cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 company, cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 company crossing 4 at Delta.
In addition to the deaths of the pilot and co-pilot, at least 41 people were hospitalized, including 2 first responders.
And of course, we still don't know how this awful crash happened, but there is a moment on that recording when you hear the air traffic controller saying, "I messed up." We don't know exactly what he meant by that, but we do know that the FAA is going to be looking at controller staffing as part of this investigation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, controller staffing. It's always a staffing issue. But it seems like, well, one more reason not to mess with air traffic controllers, man. Like, hey, don't stress those bastards out. Those guys got stressful jobs. We keep fucking with them. We keep on going, oh, yeah. Let's not pay them this year. We keep on doing this where we're going to stress them the hell out. They got all this stuff going on. They're going to, damn it. He's probably, you know what happened, right? He's got all these planes in the sky. He's freaking out. He's at one of the busiest airports in America. And some fire truck. He's like, yeah, God, these fire trucks. God, yeah, just cross. It looks fine. Just go. Damn. And now he's dead. No, he's not dead. The pilots are dead. But damn, aren't these controllers the ones who aren't paid for months? Exactly. These are the ones that we just stop paying over and over again. They're getting paid right now. It's just a partial government shutdown right now. But only part of our government isn't being paid right now, and it's not them. But still, because the FAA is different from DHS. The TSA isn't getting paid, and ICE, I think, is still getting paid, but they really shouldn't be. They're trying to get ICE defunded, but ICE is now at the airport. So because TSA isn't getting paid and people are calling in sick and not showing up for work, there's airline lines, there's airport lines, and now ICE will be there. ICE will be taking off your shoes and patting you down. ICE will be there, making sure that you go through the scanner. Go through the scanner. Go through the scanner! And I'm not going through the scanner. I don't go through the scanner at the airport. No, I'm not going to go through the scanner. It's my right not to be scanned. Pat me down, baby. I want you to. I want you to pat me down. Let's get real close. Let's get to know each other. If you're going to violate my rights, I want you to do it nice and close and personal. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. I want you to feel my butt. I want you to. I want you to. Give me the whole pat down, baby. Earn it. Earn this rights violation. Anyway, LaGuardia, it's kind of weird, right?
The power grid crisis in Cuba, it's getting worse. And for more than 10 million people, it is making everyday life incredibly difficult.
Many families don't have consistent access to food, clean water, or even power. News4Jax reporter Andrea Snowdy is joining us now. And Andrea, you talked with a Cuban immigrant who says that she hasn't heard from her family in days.
Unfortunately, yes.
She says she hasn't heard from her family in days in Cuba. We shut down the whole fucker. We made sure they don't have any energy. Now they don't have any power. They say they can't talk to their families. It's really kind of crazy to me that people think that immigrants and people who live in other countries don't love their families or something. Like, people don't move countries and do stuff because of like willy-nilly shit. They do it out of love. They do it for emotional reasons. Trying to feed their kids and shit. They can't even talk to their families in Cuba. America. We're going to war with Cuba. It's all about Cuba. Donald Trump has said he wants the honor. It's going to be an honor to take Cuba. That's what he said. It's going to be an honor that he will have taking Cuba. And people, oh yeah, you're a warmonger. Was I a warmonger when I said we're going to bomb Venezuela? Was I a warmonger? Was I a fearmonger when I said that we're going to bomb Iran? I called it every time. And all the people that we told to go fuck themselves about Greenland were like, how come none of them want to help us take all these countries? How come none of these countries that we told them to go fuck themselves back when we were wanting to take Greenland, how come none of them want to help us bomb Iran? Huh. I don't know why. How come Denmark doesn't want to help us bomb Iran? How come Canada doesn't want to help us bomb Iran? Can't think of anything.
So I spoke with families here in Jacksonville who are truly hurting. They haven't heard from their family members in Cuba for days, and even when they attempt to reach out, calls and texts go unanswered.
For days, the calls to Cuba keep going unanswered.
I guess these days Trump bootlickers can't defend their pay anymore. That Chip guy, good point, good observation. The Trump bootlickers never wanted to defend their POV. Their point of view was always, we love Trump. It doesn't matter. There is no policy. There's no plan. There's no value system. There's nothing, no platform. There's just they love Trump. It's the same thing as that little mustachioed guy in Austria. There's this group of people, they're a loud minority that are very violent, they are full of hate, and they will support Donald Trump no matter what he does. It doesn't matter what, like, okay, yesterday he said only an idiot would go to Iran. The next day he goes to Iran. They don't care. They don't care. They never did care. They only pretended to care to get morons to vote for them. Oh, he's against war. Aren't you against war? You must be pro-war if you vote for Kamala Harris. You must be pro-war. Remember, Donald Trump said that Kamala Harris would start World War III by bombing Iran. And here we are, 2026, and Donald Trump is bombing Iran, starting World War III. But hey, projection much? Yeah, I know. And why are you bringing up them? Like a weirdo. Oh, who's being weird? Someone being weird in the chat. I love when we got some weirdos in the chat. How comeism? How comeism? Canada telling us to F off is crazy. It is. It is. Canada has never told us to F off. Australia has never told us to F off. None of these countries have told us to F off. England is like, oh, bloody, it's a bit of a spot of bother. I hate to be a spot of bother, but, I mean, even Keir Starmer is like, oh, Donald, we don't think this is the best course of action, is it? Is this the best course of action, Donald? The Japanese are like, Nandeska?
It's been 4 days since I've heard anything from them.
Mildred Sanchez left Cuba in 2014 with her husband and her 2 daughters after she says they had enough. She left behind her aunts,
Oh, if you're just tuning in, this is my Morning Sky show, the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. My name is Sky Jack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. I'm on Substack and all the other things if you want to hang out with me over there. But honestly, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. And if you're a real one and you think that dignity-based resistance is important and you like exclusive content and badges and emojis and extra streams and you like cool stuff like community, then hit that, become a channel member, man. Become an exclusive channel member and support independent media. Do it, man. The Sky City Rebels, we're a growing community. It's pretty rad. We do members-only chats and stuff all the time. Please, hook it up.
uncles, brothers, and sisters, hoping for a better life in the United States. She says she kept in touch with her family regularly until recently when everything went quiet.
The conditions that the Cubans are living in on the island are catastrophic. They're terrible.
Mildred says life in Cuba has always been difficult, but after a full electrical blackout that occurred last Monday, it's become even more serious. Millions are now left without power, water, and in some cases, medical care. For families, she says it's not just about...
Have you ever seen that movie where like they lose power because like the sun flare or something? Have you ever been in a situation where your whole city loses power? It's crazy, man. One time there was this like all like 9 Western states lost power. Like the whole Western grid went down when I was young. Well, I was pretty young. It was like 30 years ago. And it was crazy. Like we were out of gas and it was just, yeah, you're going to be out of gas then. You're just going to be stuck at this gas station because there's no power. There's nothing to pump the gas. It was wild. It was wild. Imagine that, except you're in Cuba. It's hard. I've always been a rebel official for almost 2 years. Thank you, Chip Chipperoo. Thank you, Chip Chipperoo. Thank you so much, Chip. That Chip guy. I've been a member for 23 months. Heck yeah, baby doll. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Can I get some emojis in the chat for that Chip guy? Because, man, he's a rebel. And we need some rebel yells, don't we? We need some rebel yells, Chipperoo. Thank you so much. Don't forget that at 1 p.m. we'll be doing another show where you can call in. You can call in. You can go to morningsky.live/PYB for Pick Your Battles. Pick Your Battles show starts at 1 p.m. That is in roughly, 5 hours from now. 5 hours from now, we'll do another show. It's called Pick Your Battles. You'll have fun. You'll like it. You'll like it.
The lights being out. It's about food spoiling and food being harder to find in the first place.
Oh, man. One time I was in Virginia and they had one of these derecho storms. We lost power. And then everything started to rot in the freezers and everything. So luckily, I owned a restaurant back then, and we had a restaurant. We didn't have a walk-in, but we had lots of refrigeration. And so, like all the other, for some reason, our restaurant still had power, but all the restaurants around us didn't. And so everyone just put their shit into our freezers so they didn't have to lose all their money. It was crazy times, man. Losing power is not a good thing. I'm sure that if you live in one of those poor states, you probably deal with this pretty frequently. But it's scary when you lose power, man. It sucks. Especially now it's getting hot. I think it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot down in Cuba, man. No AC.
It's gotten worse because before you could get a chicken and you can put it in the refrigerator and leave it in for a few days. But now you can't even find chicken. And if you do, you have to eat it instantly because it'll...
Don't eat chickens. Stop eating chickens. Chickens want to live. They want to breathe. They want to take care of the little babies. Stop eating chickens.
This crisis stems from a variety of issues, from aging infrastructure, limited fuel imports, and rising global tensions. A new pressure has made things harder. The U.S. imposed an oil blockade on the country following the capturing of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this year, a move that exacerbated the ongoing issue.
Did we flip the switch? Sort of. We sort of flipped the switch. We basically kill anybody that tries to give them oil or gas. So if you can't get gas or oil, it's really hard to get energy. So you have to start using your grid for other stuff. Like if you want to cook food, you have to use electricity. So there's just not enough energy to go around. They just don't have the natural resources to withstand something like what's going on in Iran and Venezuela right now. The number 1 and number 4 oil reserves in the world are now screwed. 2 OPEC countries have been crippled by the United States. So if you say like who flipped the switch on Cuba, it was us, but it wasn't it wasn't like we had a switch, I'm sure though at Guantanamo Bay, I'm sure they still have power, okay? So don't you worry, baby doll. America, we still are allowed to run our secret prison camp in Cuba. Guantanamo Bay probably still has power. I know you're probably worried about all of those concentration camp detainees that we have down there, mostly immigrants that we just round up, we don't know what to do with. Those guys, those people that we call terrorists, they'll be okay. They still got power, I'm sure. But the rest of Cuba, no.
Sad to know that you have a plate of food here and it's easy and you don't think twice about it. And to know that your family, your aunts that raised you, your brothers that were born with you and grew up with you, that you had all your life together, now you know that they don't even have anything to eat. They don't even have a piece of bread, not even a piece of bread, because that kind of life doesn't exist for them.
Now Sanchez is taking action, organized a gathering Sunday, calling for unity.
They didn't kill anybody. What are you talking about, Matthew? They killed all sorts of people. It was like 40 people just in the... Yeah, they killed like 100 people, man. There was like 40 people just in the compound that America went in, killed a bunch of people, kidnapped Maduro and his wife. Like, what if they did that to us? What if they came to the White House and killed all the staff and took Donald Trump and Melania, although they're never in the same room together. I know how they would end up doing that. But imagine that happened to us. Would that be an act of war? Would that be war?
Awareness and hope for a better Cuba.
And everybody is asking for a change of the government. There is no human rights. Freedom of speech. You can believe different of the government.
Apply for the freedom for Cuba. No more communism in the world.
As of yesterday, most of the...
There you go. Look, we got plenty of people cheering on the fact that Cuba is on its knees. There's always going to be someone to cheer. You could always do that. This is just proof. You could always do that. If somebody came in and killed everyone at the White House and then took Donald Trump and kidnapped him and brought him to, I don't know, China or something, there would be people cheering. Does that make it okay? I think it's bizarre that they always do this. This is classic propaganda shit. You see it on the live news. You see it on local news all the time. People are cheering. They're welcoming us with open arms. George W. Bush said the same shit. Mission accomplished down there in Iraq, folks. Mission accomplished in Afghanistan. Mission accomplished. They are cheering us. They want us there. Trust me. They love us. We're still in Iraq. 20 years later, Afghanistan is Taliban again. They did not want us there. They did not cheer us because they loved us. It was all bullshit. It's bullshit then. It's bullshit now. Every time you see people cheering, you can't ask what they boo for, because they boo for the same shit, man. They boo, they cheer, they do what the fuck. They're lemmings. Oh, look at these people that are happy that America is bombing Iran, schools full of children in Iran. Look at all these people. They're cheering. Ain't that great? They're dancing. They're doing the Donald Trump dance. Isn't that great? They love it. Iranian Americans, they're dancing. They don't care about that school full of children. Why do you care about schools full of children? Who told you about the school full of children? The tomahawks. Everyone's got tomahawks. Come on, we didn't do that. It wasn't us that bombed that school of children. It must have been somebody else. Oh, it was us? Well, these things happen. Sometimes schools full of children get bombed. But they're cheering. They're welcoming us with open arms in Iran. Open arms.
President Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our
radical left Democrats
be free and safe again.
Once again, I have to remind you that Democrats are neither radical nor left. There's nothing left about them except that they might sit on that side of the room. They're left because they sit on the left side of the room, but they are not leftist Democrats. They're conservative party. We do not have a People's Party and we don't have a liberal party and a conservative party in America. We have no People's Party. We have two business parties. They are corporatists. We are a fascist country. We just have rights that are protected by the Constitution, but that's being thrown in the garbage as well. So since the Constitution is failing, we are now feeling the fascism. That's what's actually going on. We've always been fascists, but now we feel it more because the Constitution, because the president doesn't give a shit about the Constitution. That's all it is. We never had a president that just gave no shits about the Constitution. Like, they literally asked him, is it your duty to uphold the Constitution? An oath that he took an oath to do exactly that. Like this. I mean, he didn't touch the Bible, but still, he took an oath. And when they asked him, he said, I don't know, ask my lawyer. I mean, this is where we are. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Is it my duty? I don't know. I love the Constitution, though. I love it. The guy has never read the Constitution. When you have a president that's never read the Constitution, doesn't believe in the Constitution, you just feel the effects of fascism more now because they don't believe you have rights.
I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before.
We have... Wait a second. We have no right. We earned our rights through... We did not earn our rights through blood, sweat, and tears. We wrote them down with ink on paper. That's it. And then we defend those rights from tyranny. But we're not doing that anymore either, or else you'd see people actually taking up arms. But you don't see that, do you? You haven't seen that in a long time in America. Armed conflict. It's been a while. You haven't seen it. Maybe we'll get to that and we can earn it with blood, sweat, and tears. Right now, the thing about a constitution like ours, you're on a treadmill because our form of government is basically the will of the people filtered through the oligarchy. That's basically what our republic is, our form of democracy. It's the will of the people filtered through the elites. Well, that works, kinda. Sort of works. Oh, yeah, sure, black people are only 3/5 of a white person. But, we could try to fix some of that shit as we go. The Senate is for some reason, elected by the state legislature of the state. We fix that. That's not democratic. So we try to get more democratic as we go because democracy is kind of a goal. It's an aspirational thing. But if we don't stay on that treadmill, constantly being drawn back in oars in the stream, constantly drawn back into the past, as they said, F. Scott Fitzgerald said, then we're just going to go down the stream all the way down, end up in the ocean of fascism. We always have to be fighting it because of our fucked up democracy. Do you think we have it in us? We don't. We don't have it in us. Every 100 years, we have this global conversation of whether or not we want to have tyranny or whether or not we want to have the institutions to fight tyranny. We want to tear down those institutions. We do this every 100 years. We have a bloodbath, and then we build institutions again, then we become complacent again, and then we have anxiety again, and then we have another bloodbath. Every generation. It takes about 3-4 generations. Every 100 years we do this. We're up for one. We're up for one. It's
Now, in
time.
a subsequent post, he said that he instructed ICE agents to be ready by Monday. And now the president is saying that you, sir, are going to be in charge. How is that going to work? Are ICE agents going to move into American airports starting tomorrow?
Sky, why don't you do this on regular YouTube? What do you mean? What's regular YouTube, Everett Tauscher? What is regular YouTube? I don't know what regular YouTube is, Everett Tauscher. I love you, though. Thank you.
Monday?
Yes. And I'm currently working on the plan now of execution, working with the director of ICE and the administrator of TSA, the acting administrator. So we'll put together a plan today and we'll execute it tomorrow.
Okay, so there are a lot of questions here. First of all,
where's the $50,000 that you took from an FBI agent when he was undercover to bribe you? Where's that money? That's the first question. Every time Tom Homan's on the show, you should ask him that. Where's that 50 grand? Did you declare it on your taxes? What's the deal? If somebody gave me 50K, I'd have to tell old Uncle Sam so Uncle Sam could have a piece of it. What happened to that $50,000 cash deposit the FBI made when they caught you committing crimes? What happened to it?
are ICE agents even remotely trained to handle security at airports?
ICE agents receive high-level training, and the ICE agents are assigned at many airports across the country already. They do a lot of criminal investigation on smuggling at airports. But there's got TSA agents covering exits. People that enter through the exits. Certainly a highly trained ICE law enforcement officer can cover an exit, makes people don't go through those exits, enter the airport through the exits, and that stuff like that relieves that TSA officer to go to screening and to.
Why don't you put this on old? Oh, are you saying you want it horizontal? Hey, you're a channel member. Come to the after show. Come to the afterglow and tell me what you mean. I'll do whatever you say. I aim to serve. I aim to please. For a while, we'll talk about it in the afterglow. Let's talk about it there. Stick around. We've only got 45 more minutes.
Reduce those lines. So wherever we can provide extra security, I don't see an ICE agent looking at an X-ray machine because they're not trained in that. There are certain parts of security that TSA is doing.
I think I could look at that X-ray machine. Like, I've been through a lot of airports, so I'm like, I could do that job.
We can move them off those jobs and put them in the specialized jobs, help move those lines.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, help them move those lines, man. Let's put the ICE agents over at the beaten up people station. Do you have any liquids? Get that liquids out of your bag! I mean, imagine, that's the future right now. We're going to be in an airport and there's going to be an ICE agent with a mask on screaming at you, get that liquid out of your bag! I told you to get that liquid out of your bag! Bam! With the baton, with that weird baton that looked like it extends. Boom! In your head, right in the skull. I told you, man, he had a phone. He was videotaping me beating the shit out of that old lady for having liquids in her bag. And, well, he had to get shot. Be
my next question. So what you're saying is when you move ICE into airports, they're going to be just around the exits and the exteriors. They're not going to be helping people get through the line.
I think they call it the N-word beating line. I think that's what they call it. They're going to have two lines. It'll be N-words and everybody else. And the N-word, you just have to get a beating on your way into the airport. This is what ICE does, man. ICE, they throw around those words quite a bit, if you haven't noticed. They throw around those certain words for certain people. Certain people, they throw around these words. I don't know what it is about these guys. They say those words a lot.
And screening people's bags.
Those discussions are going on now. I'm not expert at TSA, so that's why I'm talking to the TSA administrator and the ICE director, find out where we can fit in. We have a plan by the end of today where we're sending what airports we're starting with and where we're sending them, but that's a discussion we're having right now. I ended discussions to do the show, and I'll be back having the discussions when I finish. So it's a work in progress, but we will be at the airports tomorrow helping TSA.
Lots of discussions, tons of discussions.
Move those lines along.
And I know you said it's a work in progress, but at least at the beginning, are there specific airports that you're thinking about starting with? And how many ICE agents are you considering deploying?
That is what they used to call it. They used to call it the something be good stick. That's exactly what they used to call that stick. Yep. You know what's crazy? The first time I heard that was because, in that movie, there used to be a TV show called Chips. They used to go... That was the music that they played for Chips. And it was Frank Pozzarello and John Baker, and they were California Highway Patrol. And John Baker, they never pulled their guns. They always put their hands on their guns, but they never pulled them. But John always had his beaten stick. And one time I was talking with a friend about Chips, and he said a term I never heard of. I was in high school. I never heard this before. And I was just talking about chips, how I like the show. And he said, oh, yeah, John always had his be good stick or beating stick. And I was like, oh, what? What did you call that stick? I never heard that word before until high school. It was pretty crazy.
To do this.
You love chips? I loved it.
Again, that's going based on discussions we're having today. I think we need to. My opinion is that we concentrate on airports where the longest wait.
I used to think cops were good guys because I watched shows like Chips. Chips made me think cops were cool. I used to think cops were cool because of Chips. Frank Poncherello was cool, man. He's like hanging out. Do you remember the square dancing episode? There was an episode where the Chips learn how to square dance, and there's like a crime, and they got to solve it. I loved Chips.
We prioritize those. Large airports, which was a long wait, like 3 hours. I think we got to prioritize what we do like we do everything else. So again, having those discussions, continued discussions after the show with the leadership of those agencies will lead us to some decisions based on prioritization, where we deploy, how quick we deploy, how many agents we deploy. So right. Hopefully we'll have all those answers here by this afternoon, but we're working on it. And when we deploy tomorrow, we'll have a well thought out plan to execute.
With respect, if you're doing this in 24 hours, how well thought out could it possibly be?
With respect, you got 24 hours and you have no experience doing something like this. So how prepared can we expect all of these ICE agent Proud Boy rejects? How can we, all these guys that couldn't be real cops because they couldn't pass the psych evaluation? Those guys, I mean, those guys, too dumb to be cops. Now they're ICE agents. And you're going to put them in the airports. What could go wrong?
Again, ICE has been at airports across the country for a long time. It's just expanding those things. Look, how much of a plan does it mean to guard an exit to make sure no one comes through that exit? We're talking about security options, and these officers are well-trained in security, and they're well-trained.
Oh, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Okay, police academy, though, those were cool cops because they didn't have cops, and so they had to hire, like the premise of police academy is that they had to hire a bunch of everyday schmoes in order to be cops, and so they just got anybody to join, and so you got all these, like this rogues gallery of people in the police academy, and they were like, how can we train these people to be cops? And so police academy, there was anyway, I don't need to go over the whole plot of police academy, but it was a bunch of a mixed match of people who would never have been cops otherwise, because there was just they needed cops so badly, they lowered the bar and anybody could be a cop. It's kind of like today, ICE really is the plot of Police Academy. We need more ICE because we're supposedly going to deport 15 million people. How can we do that? We're going to give you all $50,000 and you're not going to have to pass any kind of physical requirement or have any kind of education, no high school diploma, nothing. All right, who's going to join ICE? What could go wrong? What, me? Worry? You saw those movies? Yeah, you like the blowjob scene, I bet. DHS has been confiscating money that innocent people carry with them on flights for years. Yes, they have. They do. They take our money. They take your money. You don't have any rights in this country. You don't have any rights. The black kid could make some sound. He can make the sound effects. Yeah, the police academy with the sound. You can make all those noises. That was fun. I like that guy. I forget his name, though. I also like Hightower. I forget what Gutenberg's name was in that show, that fucking Police Academy. I'm never going to watch Police Academy again. I'm so glad I'm thinking about the blowjob scene. It was so bad with the prostitute and the whole under the podium thing. Ha 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 ha.
This 2023 arrest cost a Kentucky state trooper his job and his freedom. He pounded on a man at the end of a police chase who'd already given up. In fact, that officer got more time behind bars than the suspect he was after. Video shows the moment he crossed the line. July 2023, KSP troopers are part of a 4-county pursuit of Robert Kidd, a man reported to be armed, dangerous, and driving a stolen car. Troopers stopped him in Carroll County using a tire deflation device. 10-4, we're coming to a stop right now. Kidd runs out of the car and into the woods. Hey, show me your hands! Show me your hands! The troopers chase him. 37 Camel Car, he's clean on foot. This is
Run! Oh, oh no, he's got time.
Hayden Kilborn. Moments later, Trooper Kilborn tases Kidd. Give me your hands now! Give me your hands! Show me your hands! As Kidd holds his hands up, video shows Kilborn continuing to hit him repeatedly with a baton. Put your hands behind your back! Show me your hands!
Kill you.
I will effing kill you. This is what cops do because they know that their body camera is recording sound. So they'll say something like, show me your hands, while they're beating you because they know that the camera's not going to pick it up. But he forgot that the other guy has a camera too. Because if you watch that cop, the beater, the guy who's doing the beating, that camera's not picking up shit except for sound. But the other guy's just there going, oh crap, my partner is beating the ever-living hell out of this guy. The guy gave up, show me your hands, and then the cop beat the hell out of him. Now, you might say, but Sky Jack Morgan, this is Kentucky. This ain't normal. It only happens in places like Kentucky. No, it doesn't happen in just places like Kentucky.
Hands behind your back now. Give me your hands.
Court documents say Kidd suffered 7 stitches to the upper lip, bruising across his face and body, and broken teeth because of the attack.
He knocked his teeth out and busted his lip. Bruises. You saw how hard he was hitting him with that billy club. You think that they were just little bruises? Bruises, huh? Thank you, Propaganda News.
Baton strikes. The suspect was seen on body camera footage appearing to comply and show his hands to Trooper Kilbourne. It was during this time that the agency determined that Trooper Kilbourne's actions constituted excessive force.
5 days later, KSP moved to fire Kilbourne.
Thank God for these body cams, huh?
He appealed and saved his job, getting a
You
6-month suspension without pay.
You see how the camera's not picking it up? Did you see? Look at this. The camera's not showing you shit. His body cam, if he were alone, he'd be free. He would have no repercussions whatsoever.
KSP also launched a criminal investigation, and while it played out, the department pulled Kilbourne off the street, putting him on admin duty and taking away his police powers.
Former Trooper Kilbourne's actions were out of line and rightfully prosecuted.
In January...
Out of line. Down here now out of line. No, I'm still glad that we have those body cam. I'm sure that other officer was wearing a body cam. We are now training. We're going to give some empathy training to our officers. Don't you worry none. Down here in Kentucky, we sure know we like it when someone beat the crap out of a white man. We don't like that no bad.
Of this year, Kilbourne pleaded guilty to assault and terroristic threatening. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, agreed not to seek probation, and to surrender his law enforcement credentials.
This trooper violated the sacred duty of policing.
Meanwhile, Kidd was sentenced to 3 years for the stolen car and police chase. He's set to be released from lockup later this year. Now, Kidd is suing Kilbourne. That lawsuit claims...
God, can you imagine those people, man? I've traveled in the South, man. Those people, put your hand up on your back right now! God, that voice. Can you imagine? That's the thing about the South, man. The South, that's how they talk. Put your hand behind your back right now! Oh, God. It's almost as bad as the English accent, right? Like, Mr. Candy, you will soon discover that the English Empire does not stop and start at the salt mines, all right? Like, the English Empire... The South, there's certain places where an accent really does carry with it some cultural weight. I think the Southerners for sure. Put your hand behind your back right now. Now get down now. Show me your hands. Oh God damn, man. We're about to tie a fan behind you, drag you behind the truck there. Jeez Louise, gifted one Sky Jack Morgan membership. Thank you so much. Who got it? Thank you so much for being here, Everett Tauscher. What a wonderful human being. You know, Sky City Rebels get all sorts of exclusive content, exclusive streams, and a guitar recital once a month. Thank you so much for that. Got tons of few things. A few bad apples is such a lie that another cop should have stopped his partner. What? That other cop was just standing there dumbfounded. You ever seen someone beat the living shit out of someone before? It's like, holy shit, things happen so quickly. I feel like that cop should have done something. You're right. He should be trained like, hey, partner, what the fuck are you doing? But, you know. Yeah, actually, you know what? Screw. Why am I even? I don't give a shit. Those fucking cops. ACAB, man. I never met a cop. They only know one good cop. I only know one good cop, and he's 6 feet underground. I don't like him. No siree. No siree, Bobski. Cops. I met some retired cops. I kind of liked. But, you know, I met some Nazis I like, too. You know, in person, they could be perfectly affable individuals, and then they go into work, and they beat the shit out of people and take away their rights. So, you know, how it goes. Oh, Felix got a membership. Hey, thank you. Can we get some emojis in the chat? Can we get some welcome emojis in the chat for Felix, please? Welcome to the Sky City Rebels. Thank you so much for being here, Felix. Appreciate you.
Just about everyone has seen it happen or has come close to seeing it happen at the Chapel Street Bridge in Newark.
I've seen the app.
This shit cracks me up.
Them being hit. Yeah. You have pictures of it? I think I do have a picture.
Yeah, trucks clearly warned the bridge is only 12 feet tall. Give it a go anyway and get stuck. It has happened 60 times here since 2005. I shot this video here in 2015, and the most recent strike came earlier this month, just days before these new clankers went up.
They call these can opener bridges. I drove a truck like that around America, man. I was terrified. I did not want to have the top of my truck ripped open. How embarrassing, man. How embarrassing. Come on. You have one job. What are you doing?
There's this huge white box truck completely stuck underneath the bridge. Passed by about an hour later. It looked like they had ripped him out.
Every bridge strike could mean a major disruption on the busy rails that run through town, so the clankers are up on the north side of the bridge, and the south side will go up soon. And it will also get the same treatment nearby Casio Mill Road got in 2022 when they got clankers, sensors, lights, and lots of warning signs. Del says their clanker plan here at Delaware's most frequently hit bridge has worked really, really well. Same deal at the state's other clanker sites in Milford and near Delaware.
I love how like they've got a sign that says "Stop now" or "Kaboom." Like, how much more obvious do we have to make this? Morons. Kaboom. Don't drive your truck down this road. Kaboom.
Park. Bridge strikes at Casio Mill Road, which is a much lower bridge, by the way. They've gone way, way down since the clanker balls were introduced a couple years ago. But Del says they have still seen some people driving trucks. They come up, they hit the balls, they slow down to see what happened, they realize what happened, and they still just keep on driving anyway.
They'll hit the clankers, they stop, and then it still proceeded and hit the bridge.
One popular theory is that some of the strikes are by University of Delaware students moving in or out and, not used to driving big rental box trucks.
Oh, University of Delaware students are stupid. Okay, that's the moral of the story. So they built these clankers. It's a new invention to keep idiots from driving under overpasses. I think it's great because it shuts down, like, trains can't go where they need to go. All sorts of stuff happens. But, like, these trucks go and they get, like, a can opener bridge. It opens up the whole top of their truck, destroys the truck, and everyone's got to stop because they're idiots. A lot of people get hurt doing this. But now they got these clanker balls. I think it's cool. But they say that University of Delaware students are so goddamn stupid that they hit the clankers and then stop, look around, realize that the clankers are there to make sure they don't hit the bridge, and then they still hit the bridge. So, University of Delaware. What is going on? Maybe we should teach kids spatial reasoning, or like maybe we should be on the metric system. Maybe we just don't know what a foot is. Like 8 feet. Oh, my truck is 11 feet and the bridge is 10 feet. I don't understand what that means. Guess I'll keep driving. Delaware. Clanker balls. That's right. They're clanker balls, man.
The city of Daytona Beach is declaring a state of emergency starting tomorrow. This comes after chaos erupted during the start of spring break last weekend. With more unsanctioned events expected this weekend, city officials are working to keep the beaches safe. West News' Pam Lacombe explains the youth curfew and what locals have to say in response.
After thousands of people flooded Daytona Beach for an unsanctioned event last weekend, leading to chaos in parts of the city, leaders voted to take action. Some locals are welcoming the city of Daytona Beach's new curfew for anyone under 18.
I think that's pretty awesome. I think we definitely need that. That should actually be in place all the time.
Oh, yeah. We should have a national curfew for anyone under 18. They're not allowed to leave the house. That's what that lady just said. Great. We should just always have that because of Daytona Beach. Have you ever been to Daytona? It's fun during spring break. It's kind of crazy. I've been to Daytona Beach during spring break. It's wild. But anyway, let's keep the kids from going. What could go wrong? Let me ask you this. If you were going to have a curfew for everyone under 18 after dark, no one under 18, the street lights come on, kids aren't allowed outside anymore, anyone under 18. What exception do you think the government would have for this rule? Now, they have a curfew because they're afraid of children doing bad things during spring break. What exclusion do you think? What exception do you think they have to this rule?
Starting Friday and for the next 7 days, all minors will have to be at home by 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. the following morning. The curfew applies only within the special event zone stretching from University Boulevard to Silver Beach.
This curfew won't apply to minors who are with their parents, who are playing in their front yard, or going to and from work.
Why is someone under 18 working? I think this is... Look, I had a job when I was 13. It's bullshit. Why does a child have a job that not only has a job at all, but has a job that keeps them out past 8 p.m.? Why is it that we have minors working after 8 p.m. at all. Why is that? When I was a minor, I had a job that kept me out at all hours. And let me tell you, you're not supposed to. It sucks. They exploit you because they know you need money to escape your parents or whatever the hell reason you're out there working in these streets. Welcome to America. We love working our kids to death. Get a job early, work your ass off, make sure you pay all your taxes. Oh, you can't vote yet for the people who are spending your taxes? All right. You want kids to work at 16 years old, 14 years old, then they should be able to vote. As soon as you pay 1 penny for taxes, you should have the right to vote. No taxation without representation. That's what America's all about, right? Oh, we can't trust children to vote. We can't trust minors to vote. They might vote for the wrong guy. They might vote for somebody crazy. They might vote for a weirdo that starts bombing Iran for no reason, no discernible plan. Yeah. But they can work. Not vote, though. They can't vote. And we're going to have a curfew for all minors as well. Unless they're working. Unless they're putting money in our pockets. Brilliant. I worked at a strip club until 4 a.m. I was 10. Are you serious? Wow. Damn, you beat me. I got a job at 13. You had a job at 12 years old? Wow. Damn. I had a job at 13. I was digging ditches and cleaning up construction sites. And then eventually I got a job at Disneyland when I was, I think, 17. But I worked until from 13 to now. I've been working. Sucks. That means you had a job even before you hated Joe Biden. No, I didn't have a job before I hated Joe Biden. I've hated Joe Biden since I was like 9. Since I was like 9 years old. I've hated Joe Biden. But I did not have a job until I was 13. No. First I hated Joe Biden, and then I got a job. Maybe that's why they didn't want me voting. I could pay taxes, though. I could file a tax return. I could do all that. But vote? No, not allowed to vote. You had a paper route when you were 12. There you go. You worked on a truck stealing restaurant grease at 12. We worked at night, obviously. Fun. That's fun. Well, good for you, I guess.
Meeting, Police Chief Jakari Young says he has more ideas for future years on how to get...
Yeah, tell us more ideas about how to keep Why is it the minors that are the problem with this bullshit, by the way?
...crowds under control from placing an age...
all these crowds. It's the 18-year... It's the people under 18 that are the problem, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
...limit on Airbnbs to requiring mandatory security guards at bars. But he says it's up to the city commission to decide how strict they want to be, giving examples of what other cities are doing during spring break.
So Miami Beach just flat out said, you are not welcome at all. We don't want you here. Everything's shut down. Panama City Beach is looking at managing it, but zero tolerance.
The city's hoping this curfew helps...
You ever been to Panama City Beach? I've been to Panama City Beach. I don't know what the hell they think they're going to do if they don't have spring break. Spring break, that's what they want. They want to have the craziness. They want all that money. You see all those empty bottles of booze on the beach? Someone made a lot of money off of all those empty bottles of booze on the beach. I guess you just have to clean them up. That's the cost. That's the price of business. You got to clean up after your customers. You want people coming to Panama City? Go for it. If you're not going to let them go to Panama City, they go to the next town. They don't give a shit. They're here to get drunk, get laid. You're going to have these kids. Like, this is what's so sad. Kids just want to get drunk and get laid. And now you're like, no, you can't do that. We'd rather have you at home playing video games every day and learning how to be a productive member of society. How come you don't have jobs? Well, we do have jobs. It's spring break. We're getting laid and getting drunk. Nah, you're not allowed to get drunk and get laid. That's too much trouble. It's too much trouble. What? I don't know why we got a loneliness epidemic in this country, because getting drunk and getting laid is against the law. It's just like Footloose. Is Florida turning into Footloose? I thought they were supposed to be the free state. You're not allowed to say gay, and you can't drink on the beach anymore. What the fuck is your point of you, Florida? Why even have Florida if you can't say gay and you can't get laid on the beach after having way too much to drink? Why even have a Florida?
reduce the crowds, all agencies are still preparing, including beach safety, because the massive crowds increase the number of calls that come in.
Inside of those big groups, we'll have smaller units staged so we can respond quickly. We do have an established emergency lane that we try and traverse throughout the day to keep people out of, but with that many people, it's difficult to get through in an expeditious manner.
Covering Volusia County in Daytona Beach, Pamela Combe, West 2 News.
There you go. Watch the tuna news. Damn it, Florida. What's happening in Florida? Florida hates gay people for some reason, and now they hate drunk teenagers. I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do in Florida. You never got drunk. Kathy Skywalker's never been drunk. Sorry. I'm sorry. You know, Frank Sinatra said he felt sorry for people who didn't drink because they wake up and that's the best they're going to feel all day. I always love that quote. Frank Sinatra, I feel sorry for people who drink. I feel sorry for people that don't drink a ding dang do. Hey, how's your bird, cat? Hey, Frank Sinatra. I feel sorry for people who don't drink because they wake up and that's the best they're going to feel all day. Yeah. That's my Frank Sinatra impersonation. Sorry. Sorry you've never had a drink, never been drunk. Have you been laid? Because, I mean, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, getting drunk and getting laid. I don't know what did you guys do as when you were kids? When I was a kid, I worked and I got drunk and laid. I don't know what you guys were doing. I guess playing video games or something. I don't know. Like, I was working and getting drunk and laid. That's basically what I did when I was a kid. It's good times.
Margaret Atwood joined the Belsheband Book Club to talk about her seminal dystopian novel, The Handmaid's Tale. She reminded us that she got all the ideas for the book set in a near-future autocratic theocracy from actual history, from real things that had happened in the world and could happen again. She actually kept the newspaper clippings that she used as
Yeah, Donald Trump says he never drank, never touched it, never touched the stuff, never had a drop. He's a liar. Rumors, these are just rumors, is that he used to get trashed at Studio 54 and do lines of cocaine off of stiff erections. But yeah, never touched the stuff. Bullshit. You want to tell me that guy? There's pictures of him there. And there's lots of people who say what they were up to at the Roy Cohn parties, famous New York parties, Roy Cohn, the famous parties with Jeffrey Epstein, famous parties at Studio 54. Donald Trump was always there, Mr. Party Animal, and you're telling me he didn't drink, didn't do drugs, never raped a girl. You're telling me that none of that, like, no, pure as the driven snow. I don't know how I'm getting into heaven, though. I don't know. I've done lots of bad things. Like, this guy telegraphs everything. He tells you that he's never going to heaven because of all the horrible shit he's done, and then he's like, never touched a drop of alcohol. Then what's your excuse for all the bad shit you done? Because, I mean, most people, they go, man, I did a lot of bad shit when I was a kid, but there was a lot of booze. Made some decisions I probably wouldn't have made if it weren't for all that alcohol, all those drugs. But not Donald Trump. Donald Trump's like, I made lots of bad decisions. I'm going straight to hell when I die, but never touched any alcohol, never touched any drugs. I don't like drugs. I do love Arnold Palmer's schlong, though. Have you seen it? He's all man. I'm like, oh, my God. I love women, but he had such a big schlong. Jesus Christ. Like, do you believe that Donald Trump never touched alcohol? Do you believe that story? That's like these people who think that Hitler was a vegetarian who didn't drink. Hitler drank. Hitler smoked. Hitler ate animals. It was all propaganda. Goebbels, they like to put up their guy as this Christian. Like, this is what they always do. Hitler was the best Christian. He was vegetarian. He never smoked a day in his life. And he was always really good to women, never did anything bad. And he loved animals, too, a huge animal lover. And never touched a drop, never drank a drop. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. All of it. Of course, like, then you talk to people who knew him and his servants and all that shit, and they have, like, what his menu was. It's all lies. Completely.
Research when she wrote this book in 1985. And this week, there's a story out of the state of Ohio that reads like a building block of Gilead come to life. Ohio Republicans introduced a bill that would allow the government to track every pregnancy from beginning to end. The measure, called House Bill 754, HB 754, would...
I just want to say too, like if Donald Trump never touched alcohol and never smoked or did any drugs, then why has he got these labored breathing? He's always like, "Hey, nothing ever. I never did nothing. I never did nothing wrong, never. But I'm going to hell." He's got, and also his nose, like his rhino. What do they call it? Rhino, I forget what they call it, with all the holes in his nose and the edema. I know he's old and everything and all, like, I mean, the dude looks like he's decaying. And I know people who don't drink still have that shit happen, but you know who often has drug addicts? You tell me that guy's not hooked? People say, like, there's rumors that he's on all sorts of barbiturates, that he's on speed half the time, he's on Adderall. You could almost tell because, like, he takes uppers and he's like, "I'm going to war," and he says all this crazy shit, and then you see him other days and he's like, United States of America. And just because he's on the downers, they gave him a different pill. I mean, how do you think an old guy wakes up and gets all crazy and tweets and knows all this crazy shit that this guy does? He's on drugs.
Create a state-run registry of pregnancies, requiring medical providers to file a certificate of life within the Ohio Department of Health within 10 days of examining a pregnant patient and detecting a fetal heartbeat. It's worth noting here that what we call a fetal heartbeat is more accurately described as fetal heart activity, which the Cleveland Clinic notes begins as the cells that will later form the fetal heart begin to cluster early in the first trimester and can create electrical pulses. The medical provider would be required to provide a copy of that certificate of life to the pregnant woman. The bill also mandates that fetal deaths be registered with the state and that providers specify whether a pregnancy ended in miscarriage, abortion, or stillbirth. I'm not done. Then a cause of death would need to be certified within 48 hours, and if a fetus is deemed to have died in a, quote, violent, suspicious, unusual, or sudden, end quote, manner, a coroner or a medical examiner would be brought in. So who decides which fetal deaths, which are otherwise known as miscarriages, which are also very common, should be deemed suspicious? And for that matter, a miscarriage is medically defined as a sudden or spontaneous loss of a fetus. It is always sudden. That's literally what a miscarriage is. According to the Mayo Clinic, about 10 to 20% of known pregnancies result in a sudden loss of a fetus, a miscarriage. The actual number is likely much higher because many miscarriages happen very early in a pregnancy, in some cases before a woman realizes that they are pregnant. As the journalist Jessica Valenti writes, quote, "Let's be clear about what this really is. An attempt to build an infrastructure for pregnancy surveillance, not just tracking who's pregnant, but documenting how every pregnancy ends and creating a pathway for scrutiny if the state decides that something looks off." While this legislation would be insane, no matter where it was introduced, the fact that it's being proposed in a state like Ohio, where in 2023, voters passed an amendment enshrining the right to abortion in the state's constitution, is telling. The state already requires a death certificate for miscarriages past 20 weeks of gestation.
Crazy.
So while this bill, if it's signed into law, would certainly face legal challenges, it's not entirely clear whether it would be overturned in a post-Roe legal climate. And regardless of whether or not legislation like HB 754 passes, it's a terrifying signal of intent. It tells us exactly what kind of regime conservative lawmakers are trying to implement.
This is the thing, man. Women are so screwed right now, man. I'm so glad that I'm not one of them. I'm really sorry, ladies. Like, this is Ohio, where they are going to they want your menstrual cycle. They want you to report your menstrual cycle. They could do that now. They could watch your menstrual cycle on an app. They want to track your pregnancy. The government wants to know every step of the way your pregnancy. They want to keep tabs on your fetus. There's no male condition that's similar. There's nothing that as a man I'm ever going to have to just keep medical, like, what happened to HIPAA? Like, what happened to my right to privacy? Well, I have it. Women don't. Women don't have a right to privacy. And there's people who think that women aren't oppressed in the West, that Iran oppresses women, but we don't, that Afghanistan oppresses women, but we don't. I mean, oppression just looks different. Our oppression of women, they're second-class citizen. I mean, in Virginia, I was there. I couldn't believe it. They passed a mandatory transvaginal ultrasound if you want an abortion. And so what that means is if you want to get that procedure, they're going to stick a wand into your vagina and look inside at the baby and show it to you. That was mandatory in order to still have an abortion. because conservatives want to limit the rights of women. There's no medical procedure that I can get that the government will have anything to say about. Zero. There's nothing I can do that the government will even want about me. Woke a big junkie. There's more pressure toward women now than in the last 50 years. Well, yeah, I mean, they took them 50 years to overturn Roe v. Wade. And so now what's next? They're going to try to get rid of birth control. A lot of states are trying to limit the birth control, the buying and selling of birth control. Some states want to get rid of condoms. I mean, this is the state that we're living in. This is where we're going with this. There's no medical procedure that I can pay a doctor to do that the government can say I can't do. But if I were a woman, there's a number of them. It's insane to me. It's insane. They're all black flag sickos. Yeah, you're glad you're past all that. Yeah, I get that. You can't get drunk and late anymore. I guess that makes sense. I mean, you don't want people getting drunk and late anymore. I guess that's good, because if they do get laid and there's a fetus, as soon as the fetus, like at heartbeat, which is just like cells beating, they're not an actual fetus yet. It's just a clump of cells at that point. Literally just a clump of cells. No brain, no brain stem, nothing like that. Just cells that are going to be hearts. But hey, we can do that. This is your modern Democrat. I'm not a Democrat, dumb shit. Don't give a shit about the fellow Americans. Don't give a fuck. They let 15 million. Oh my God. You're so stupid, Dems dumb. Why do you keep coming here, man? Are you that dumb, Dems dumb? Or are you just does Donald Trump pay you? I hope you're getting a paycheck from Elon Musk or something. Because damn. Yeah, they'll start it here with illegal criminals and terrorist coups. Exactly. Illegal criminals and terrorist coups. That's the thing. 15 million African children have been killed by Donald Trump. Nobody seems to care. 15 million, they say, will die because of the elimination of PEPFAR. But Jesus. Hundreds of children killed 161 children killed in the first day of bombing in Iran. So far, 4,000 civilians have been killed in Iran and Lebanon, and counting. Billions of dollars dropped in the desert. And yet, right here at home, we are oppressing women like it's nobody's business.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. The partial government shutdown enters a second month. Republican senators have been in D.C. all weekend trying to stop TSA agents from being used as pawns. But this is not a game. Lives are impacted in real significant ways. Democrats aren't punishing ICE. ICE is funded. They're punishing you and the women and men of TSA. And Trump may send in ICE agents to relieve the unpaid.
Trump may send in ICE agents to relieve them. Oh, I love this guy. He's my favorite. I love this guy over in Fox News. I don't know what anything new.
TSA agents, wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? I can't even get past out of Utah. No. This is on 1.5 speed, and this guy, goddamn, 1.5 speed, this guy still sounds like a slack-jawed fucking just rolled off the turnip truck. Now, I just rolled off the turnip truck and he's going ding-dang new. I can't even understand what's happening. The ICE agent is going to come now, Brea Fox got himself in a touch of trouble with that tar baby. I don't know, man. Brea Fox and Brea Rabbit, he go, no.
Enlarging ICE authority rather than reducing it. Meanwhile, filibuster and cloture are still making news. Presidents wonder how someone can be elected without 60%, and things can pass the House without 60%, but the Senate is different. On the other hand,
you don't know how that works yet? Oh, I thought you were in government. I thought you were working at the news. You don't know how the filibuster works?
And senators are likely to go back through history and count the really bad bills that never became law because Republicans were able to use the filibuster.
Filibuster!
And Biden. When you say goodbye to something, you might wish one day it wasn't gone. Joining us is a man known...
You might wish it wasn't gone if you get rid of that filibuster ding dang dude. The Democrats might get in power and do something like give people the equal rights that they deserve. They might give women equal rights. If you get rid of that filibuster, they might make voting a holiday. They might make a national voters holiday, and if we allow people to vote, let those black people down in the South vote, then we won't ever get another Republican elected. We don't want to make sure that filibuster goes away. That would be just downright horrible. Jesus. I think right now they should get rid of the filibuster so that we could get voters' rights. Voters' Bill of Rights. Yeah, and a voters' holiday. That'd be great. Great start. Great start for America. Let's fight fascism. What do you say? Nah.
For common sense and his sharp questioning, he recently authored a book on it. John Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana. Welcome, Senator. How?
Oh, God, these guys are going to have competing. This is like the dueling banjo. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 do. Ding, 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 do. Ding, 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 do. Ding, 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 ding. Fucking hell. What the hell? This is America. This is going to be the last video I can watch. This is going to be the last one I can watch. Dang on, dang, dang, down. We're going to have Senator Kennedy and this moron. What's this guy? I always forget what this guy's name is. Dang now. Now we're going to talk to dang now. We're going to talk to Senator Kennedy. He wrote a book. Look at him. He wrote a book about being stupid. It's even called How Not to Be Stupid. It's going to be so much fun to talk to him today. Yeah. Here we go. You ready for this?
And when does this partial government shutdown end?
Well, the party line that we're
parrot
is that we're talking and we're reasonably close. Dreamweaver. If you believe that, you'll never own your own home. We're not even on a scale of 1 to 10. We're minus 17.
On a scale of 1 to 10, we're minus 17. You can't afford nothing around here. Now, I'm from the great state of Louisiana. My name is Senator John Kennedy, but don't get yourself confused with them Democrats, the Kennedys. I'm not a Kennedy like those old Irish Kennedy. I'm a Kennedy like the new Irish Kennedy down here in Louisiana. You're so great down here, ding dang do.
Here's why. There is no bill, no compromise involving ICE that the Democrats will vote for. Why? Because the Karen wing of the Democratic Party is in control.
The Karen wing of the Democrat Party is in control. Is that what it is? Maybe you guys should stop shooting people in the street. Maybe you should be appalled by the fact that ICE is beating the fuck out of people and shooting citizens. I know you hate immigrants, but they're shooting citizens. Do you care about that? No, I do not care about that. Those people are terrorists that I cannot about. Oh no, sorry, I cannot think about that. We're on the negative 17. Jesus Christ. You'd think that with the government shutdown, they'd be like, hey, we just don't want ICE. We want mask off, badges on, cameras for all of them. And it seems reasonable, but they're saying, well, the Karen party is trying to make sure they wear body cameras. Well, we just saw on an earlier report today in Kentucky, that dude beat the living shit out of somebody with a baton, and the person getting the shit beat out of him did a shorter sentence than the pig who beat him. I'm sorry to all the pigs. It's a horrible thing to say about pigs. The piece of garbage cop that beat him got time because the body cam. How much do you think is happening with the 2,000 missing detainees? What do you think is happening at these concentration camps with no cameras? What do you think's happening in these places? What do you think's happening in the streets with all of these cops with no cameras? As a person who has been on the receiving end of police brutality, let me tell you, mild police brutality. I mean, I'm a 6'5" white man. I never got too roughed up, but still, I've been assaulted by police. And I'll tell you that the ones with body cams act entirely different than the ones with and without. They're very different, totally different cops. The guys without body cams, we don't do body cams around here. You're like, oh shit, this cop is gonna beat the hell out of me. The ones with the body cam, he's like, we got body cam on, sir. You better, the individual is going to have to, you better make sure that, I mean, very different vibes. Cops with cameras versus cops without. You're so tired of MAGA saying people or Dems can't define the sexes. Why do I have to define the sexes all the time? Like, you define them. I know that I think the definition of a woman in America is a person who is being oppressed by men. How about that? Someone who is a second-class citizen oppressed by man has nothing to do with their genitals. Has to do with their status in our society. They're second-class citizens. That, I think, that covers trans people as well. They are almost overwhelmingly subject to violence, legalized violence, and perfectly acceptable violence against them. And they're always being raped and beaten. Yeah, that covers trans women too. So yeah, I think that that's what a woman is. A woman, someone who is brutalized and oppressed by men in power.
Of the Democratic Party will punish any Democrat that votes in any way to help ICE. That's just a fact. And we need to stop looking reality in the eye and denying it. Here's what we ought to do, and I've talked to most of my colleagues about it, including
my colleagues.
I don't speak for them. I would accept the Democrats' offer to open up everything except ICE at DHS.
Hey, what do you know? We're going to open up everything except for ICE? Sounds like a good plan there. Looks like we got one Republican with a little bit of his head out of his ass. Like he's just peeking out of his ass. His head's still in his ass, but he's got like one eye out and he's peeking. He's like, oh, I think I have a little bit of a negotiation talent here. Yes, sir, I do. I do declare that I think that we should open up the whole government except for us. Yeah, since there were, 7 million people in the street protesting ICE, and everyone seems to be okay with most forms of oppression in America, most types of fascism, most types of slavery. They just don't like ICE. That's it. I mean, I would like to tear down all of it, but most Americans, they just don't want ICE beating their neighbors in the street. That's all. So this sounds like a reasonable negotiation tactic. I think that sounds reasonable, ding-dang-do.
And then the very next day, I would pass a reconciliation bill which crafts a budget for ICE. We can do it without any Democratic votes.
Oh, fucking hell. This is so... Dems dumb. You having dumb in your name is one of my favorite things because you were so stupid it's fucking staggering. Yeah, but guess what? 85% of the Persian real Iranian people are cheering on USA and Donald Trump to be free, you stupid bitch, says Dumb's dumb. If somebody bombed the White House and killed all of Trump and his crazy, creepy children, the entire Trump family, if somebody killed all Trump and his entire family, if that happened, God forbid that happened, God forbid, there would be people cheering in the street. Do you think that justifies the action? I know you love him. Do you think if somebody did that, it would justify the action? That's the question on the table. If people do that, do you think it's okay? By the way, I forgot to mention everybody who took the over on the $50 billion and 13 people dead at Abbey Gate. So remember, Donald Trump said that this will kill fewer people and cost less money than the disaster that Biden did. Well, that was fun. I just lost power. I mean, maybe we're going to have maybe we're having some rolling blackouts like Cuba. What is this, Cuba? I guess we're in Cuba now. Hopefully you can hear me. I doubt that you can. Let me see what's going on with my mic. Everything seems to be in order. I have had a Cuban rolling blackout just happen at my house. I just lost power. It looks like my router is now up. Thank you so much. Isn't it ironic? Well, it could have been maybe I was talking some shit on the president. I mean, I just got finished asking the thing about the war and all that stuff and about the Trump family. I mean, it could have been all that. Iran hit my power plant. You never know. It could be rolling blackouts. Very strange to happen. I haven't had a lost power like that in a really long time. I was like, did I pay it? Did I pay the bill? That's the first thing I thought. It's Monday. Maybe they woke up and they shut off my electricity. But I don't use air conditioners or anything. But, you know, like maybe a bunch of people just turn on the AC in my neighborhood or something. That happens still sometimes. They did rolling blackouts in my neighborhood. They did? Is it the weather? I mean, it could be. I mean, it's getting hotter here in California, but you never know. Iranian hackers, it could be the government. It could be. It could be. Well, all right. I just want to finish this up, and then we'll get back out there. I just wanted to finish this John Kennedy thing, Senator John Kennedy, and then we'll get out of here because we got a private stream to do.
Certainly, the Democrats are welcome to join us. We can do it with all Republican votes. That's how we pass
all Republican
bill. We don't need Democrats to do anything with respect to ICE. They think we ought to abolish ICE, just like they wanted to abolish police, just like they think that kids ought to be able to change genders at recess. Not all Democrats are that way, Trey, as you know. But the Karen wing, the moon wing of the Democrats
is speeding up. It's speeding at 1.5%, 81.5 speed. It's sped up at 1.5. I always play everything at 1.5 because it's like, man, everyone talks so slow over on Fox News. It's like, now we got the Democrats can join us, and as well, I can't listen to people that talk that fucking slow. My God, holy shit. Sorry.
Democratic Party is calling these shots, and that'll get the TSA folks paid. What we're doing right now.
What is regular YouTube? I don't know what that means. What is regular YouTube?
Is a Great Dane-sized whiz down the leg of every employee at TSA.
A Great Dane-sized whiz. It's a Great Dane-sized whiz. Hold on.
Is a Great Dane-sized whiz.
Whiz. Hold on. What's a Dane?
Change genders at recess. Not all Democrats are that way, Trey. We can do it with all Republican votes. That's how we passed the one big beautiful bill. We don't need Democrats to do anything with respect to ICE. They think we ought to abolish ICE, just like they wanted to abolish police, just like they think that kids ought to be able to change genders at recess.
At recess. They think that kids want to change genders at recess. Yes. Is that what it is? Is that what the Democrats want you to change genders at recess? Yes, I do declare the Democrats are trying to change the genders of our children at recess. Don't they realize that the Republicans have changed? Recess is now a work camp. They are now going to work during recess. There's never going to be a recess again. We're trying to abolish schools. The Republicans want to abolish schools, and the Democrats want to abolish ICE. So you pick. Which one do you like more, schools or ICE?
Not all Democrats are that way, Trey, as you know. But the Karen wing, the moon wing of the Democratic Party.
Karen wing.
And that'll get the TSA folks paid. What we're doing right now is a Great Dane-sized whiz.
Whiz.
The leg of every employee at TSA and everybody else at DHS who shouldn't be paid. And we're giving a bunch of pretty speeches on the floor when the truth is, and everybody knows it, the Democrats are not going to vote for anything that has to do with ICE because their party tells them they have to abolish. And that's where we are. We can be.
Their party tells them. What does your party tell you? Your party tells you to support Donald Trump. Support Donald Trump. He's a good Christian man, that Donald Trump. Trust me. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. You love it. Yeah.
Within 7 days.
That's why I love having you on, Senator, because you speak the truth and you do it in a pretty blunt way. Speaking
Oh,
of
a blunt way.
and blunt colleagues of yours, I've known Wayne Mullen for over a decade. He is blunt. He's honest. He's one
That doesn't surprise me. This piece of shit has known Wayne Mullen for over a decade.
of the most loyal friends you can ever have. I would have preferred to see Wayne and Rand Paul work out their differences in private and not public.
You would have preferred that. It's too bad Wayne Mullen has the intelligence of a thumb.
But maybe I'm
This guy, like, how the fuck, like, seriously, both these guys have bachelor's degrees, but the guy on the right, Senator John Kennedy, has a Juris Doctorate. He got his JD from University of Virginia. He doesn't actually talk like this in real life. Now, don't go down here. He doesn't actually talk. It's a fake accent. It's bullshit. But Senator John Kennedy has a JD, and they're asking him to support this moron, Wayne Mullen, who never graduated from high school. He's so stupid he can't even fucking back up a truck. He thinks that dueling is still legal and a justifiable way to end your disagreements. He thinks that beating someone's skull in on the Senate floor is a valid way to settle disagreements because it happened once in the Senate. Or the House, it happened once. About slavery. It happened about slavery. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it? Of course it happened about slavery. Okay, all my powerful... Okay, here we go. The power outage is screwing me.
Well, look, I'll say this for their exchange. It was authentic. I mean, they don't like each other. That's the way the world works sometimes. Wayne's going to be confirmed. We've got huge management problems over at DHS. I don't want to plow old ground, but we've got huge management problems. And it wasn't just about the fact that the former secretary spent $250 million making political commercials with her on a horse in front of Mount Rushmore. We've got deeper problems at that. That was a
cool ad, though, right?
big problem. I don't mean to speak ill of anybody. I like Secretary Nolan, but the truth is, and everybody knows it, we need some fresh blood there. Wayne will provide it. He's experienced. He's a good businessman. He understands the legislative process.
He inherited his business from his father, which was a plumbing business. I mean, I'm all about the working man, but this guy is not the working man. He inherited. His father was the working man. He is a nepo baby, and he inherited a business, a plumbing business. That is his whole deal. That's all he knows. He never had to go to high school. Never had to go because his dad owned a business, and he was going to inherit it, and he did. Oh, he's a hard-working man. He's a salt of the earth type. No, he isn't.
Yes, I can't wait to get him confirmed, and he'll be confirmed this week.
You know, Senator, speaking of confirmation.
Yeah, he will get confirmed, and we're all going to be fucked.
One of my dear friends is in front of you on Wednesday.
A new head of the Gestapo. Great. That's exactly what we need.
And she is as nervous as Lindsey Graham in a spelling bee because, number one, she respects you, and number two, you are a tough questioner. So
as nervous as Lindsey Graham in a spelling bee.
She's been studying like as a bar exam, and she should. Your questioning is part of what prompted President Trump to say enough at DHS. So I love having you on. I love watching you. People say they don't like.
God, it's so annoying watching these fucking bootlickers over on Fox News. Now, I love you. I think you're great. Come on back, Senator. I love having you here. It's been mighty fun talking to y'all. We just love kissing the ass of politicians over here on Fox News. Brer Rabbit, what you got to say about that now? Now, what you got to say about that, Dig Dag Doo? How we doing?
Like lawyers, but they like John Kennedy. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
They don't like lawyers, but they love John Kennedy. I'm just a country lawyer.
Just went to hell as soon as you left, man. We need you back.
God bless you, Senator. We'll see you soon. Take care.
There you go. He was a senator and a congressperson. It's all great. It's all wonderful. That's a good bit of circle jerking right there. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. Sorry about the power outage. I'm glad that you're all here. Mark wants sword fights, if you can know what I mean. Yeah, he loves sword fights. Put it up your butt. No, I'm going to put it up my butt. We're going to put it up each other's butts. Get your butt up. No, I'm going to get my butt up. No, let's put our butts together and see if we can't get something. Get the butt. I'm going to put in your butt. Him and the Teamsters president talking about their butts is one of my favorite things that happened. But the fact that he's now going to be head of DHS is just... somebody loosely related to me have a multi-million corpo. They always said their children are self-made. Why? Because they had to work 10 hours a week as a low-paid employee. They did, huh? They were self-made. They were self-made. The children, the corporation children, yeah. As nervous as Lindsey Graham in a straight bar. As nervous as Lindsey Graham. As Lindsey Graham at a... I think Lindsey Graham probably gets nervous at like WWE. Like there's so much gayness at WWE. Like if you like WWE, that's awesome. I mean, who am I fucking have fun. But it's so gay with all the guys with their shirts off and the oily and all this stuff. It's very weird. It's very gay. I think Lindsey Graham probably gets real nervous at places like that. Now, I just can't stand up. I don't know why. Now, why don't y'all go ahead without me? Because I'm having a hard time getting out of this chair. I got to make sure that you guys going to be all right, okay? Ding, dang, do. Have fun. They just feel a bond with someone who sounds like Foghorn Leghorn brings them back to their youth. Yeah, I think it's like that man, Senator John Kennedy, talks like my pappy. My old pappy used to talk like that. Now, I'll go down to the lick log. You don't know what that lick log is? Now, come on down here. I'm just a country lawyer. Like, yeah, you're probably right. People like hearing their parents talk. It's funny. So I used to live in Virginia, and I was married, and I had this family, this what do you call it, in-laws. And the parents, they had the dumbest fucking accents you've ever heard. They sounded so stupid. And all the kids, they had Virginia accents, but they would be so pissed. They're like, my parents did not used to talk like this, and now they talk like this because they're in business. And one was a politician. He was I forget what they call it in the counties. It's like board of supervisors in the county or something like that. He was a county supervisor, and she was in real estate, and they both thought, now I'm going downtown and ding dang do ding dang do. They had this shitty, stupid Virginia accent that was like real country. And all the kids in the family were like, our parents don't actually talk like that. At least they used to not talk like that. Now they talk like that all the time, and it's an act that now they can't get out of. I think that happens a lot in the South. People, they learn to ditch their stupid accent, and then they get it back because they think it sounds good. It's like proof that you're from here, and not that you were born here, and you're not a come here. There's born heres and come heres. There's like a whole thing in the South where if you're not from that area, you're not accepted. You know, they're real. They don't like outsiders. You know. Anyway, my hillbilly kin, you couldn't even understand. Oh, geez, it's so rough. The internet decimated most local English variant. You know, I used to really care about like English, like different accents and stuff. And I guess like those regional accents used to be kind of interesting at least. But now it's like, it brings with it so much baggage. And maybe it did. Maybe it's just as I get older, I understand the baggage that comes along with talking like that. Or maybe it's because the language of the hegemony in education is strong. You know, it's a strong type of brainwashing that we go through. I understand that too. But regardless of what the cause is, I hear those accents and I just hear child molester supporting yokels, rubes who've been taken advantage by this rapist child molesting Donald Trump. I mean, they're just like suckers for this New Yorker who took advantage of them. It really is sad. Like, it's a sad thing that people in the South are so easily duped by people like Donald Trump, you know. Anyway, they called you city slicker. Now, what we got here is a city slicker. I mean, that's what Donald Trump is, a city slicker. Kennedy makes himself sound more like a hillbilly to be more appealing to the idiots that support him. Says a lot about the people who vote for him. They want the dumbest and most racist hick possible. Yeah, once he was into state office, he started really laying that accent on thick, right? And he was in statewide office, a senator statewide, so he has to appeal not to the people of just New Orleans and like Shreveport and Baton Rouge. He's got to appeal to people in like bumfuck middle of nowhere towns you never heard of. Bon Tom. Now they'll go down. I'm from Louisiana. You know, like it's the bayou folk, the people out there in the swamp people. You know, he's got to appeal to those people too. It's easier with smooth brains. Only thing Trump knows. Man, it's really sad though, because the South, they've been duped so many times, and the South has like. They do have an interesting heritage and culture and stuff that if you just allowed them to develop it, but instead they keep on getting taken advantage of and oppressed. It's quite sad what we do to the South. And I think a lot of it's their own doing, and I want to like cut them out. Like just let California do its own thing and let the states, like you guys keep want to vote for fascists, figure it out. Like do your fascist thing, do it without our money. Because you guys can't fund fascism without California, New York, Washington, Oregon. Without us, you can't have a fascist dictatorship. So you guys do your little fascist stuff down there, and you know, we'll have open arms to anybody who wants to leave. Sounds good to me. What do you say? Secession. I'm here for secession. It's harder for inbreeding if you can't differentiate who's from there and who's not. Yeah, it's true. When I lived in this town called Stanton, Virginia, Stanton, but that was spelled Staunton, and outsiders would always call it Staunton. And there's this legend that Stanton, because of where it sits, the people there would know if someone was a Union spy during the Civil War, because they would know that they said Staunton instead of Stanton, because the people from there, Stanton, they say it's Stanton. Anyway, it's Staunton, but no one says Staunton. They say Stanton. Secession is not allowed as conferred by Civil War. Well, yeah, freedom is not allowed in America, but secession is not succession. You mean I know you mean secession. Secession is in our Constitution. You're allowed, but I think we should talk about it. I think California should threaten secession and say if we don't have a proportional Senate, that means more state senators for populous states. We get rid of the Electoral College. Just that's enough. Those are our only demands. If I represent California, those are my only demands. Proportional Senate, the elimination of the Electoral College. Bada bing, bada boom. Or else we're leaving. We're taking our money with us. See what they say. Say Lou Ray. Lou Ray? You talking about Lou Ray? All right, thank you so much. If California seceded, Trump would bomb their oil. Probably. But don't forget, California, we've got our own sets of bombs. We could take it easy. I mean, we're only half the size of Iran. California has half the amount of people as Iran. But I think California, I think you'd be surprised how much of a fight we can put up. Plus, we got the ocean. And I think other countries would recognize California as a country very quickly. That's the big thing. The problem with the South, the Confederacy, they could never get like France and England to recognize them as their own country. And so that becomes very difficult. When the United States started, a big turning point was when the colonies organized under a constitution and organized under the Declaration of Independence, I guess. And anyway, it's a long history about how the states became states and all that. But before the war was even over, the French were already recognizing the states, so the colonies, as their own country. And that changed the course of the war in many ways. Not completely, but it changed a lot of things because of that. Anyway, thank you so Canadafornia. Let's do it. Canadafornia. Let's do it. No, I think that we should call it Pacifica, and it should be California, Oregon, Washington, and we should just take that. California, Oregon, Washington. Yeah. Sorry, I got confused about geography for a second, but I was right. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much. If you are a channel member, you will have we can hang out for a little while longer in the exclusive chat, the Afterglow. Thank you for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. This is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube, The Morning Sky. I'll see you at the Afterglow, and we're also doing the 1 o'clock show as Pick Your Battles. We're going to do that one. And at 5 o'clock, I will be on KPFT in Houston, kpft.org, streaming live, or 90.1 FM if you are on Houston time at 7 p.m. Central. I'm doing the show Vegan World Radio. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.